channel. You're watching the replay now. So you missed the live. There's gonna be no readings, just learning. So if you want, you can hang out. If you don't want to, you don't have to. I don't really know tarot aside from afar. So in the weekend video, I had shared that I just recently got a deck, so I'm learning it right now by just kind of getting my hello to everybody who's creeping into the room. How are you? I see you. But I'm mostly just learning to see what I pick up first intuitively, just make a story about the cards as they look, as they feel to me, without really reading their definitions yet. Obviously, I know that some of the cards in there, like, meanings, right? Like how typically you go into a reader and they'll show you, oh yeah, 7 of Cups means options, and they've got choices, and they don't know, they're confused. So it's like there's things like that, but I'm also wanting to give the message from the card a chance to speak to me in a way that speaks to me, so that it can speak to you all at some point if I do introduce the tarot cards on the Lumiere channel. Hey Jade, how you doing? I'm just shooting the breeze. Everybody who's kind of like creeping in and saying hi, feel free to stick around. I would really, I do this on my own, and I'm on 7. I'm going 7 in each suit according to the major arcana, and then gonna learn the majors, and then go through each story of each suit. So I would really love it if I typically do this by myself, but I figured I'm in a mood today. I'm in a mood, okay? But I figured while I'm learning this, we might as well learn together. So I'm gonna put the card up to the screen, and you just kind of type what you see, what you pick up, what the card means to you, what it's saying to you, what it looks like, what you're noticing. Like, for instance, because that's essentially what I'm gonna be doing. So it would be cool if we had like a tete-a-tete while I'm learning. You guys are also sharing what you're learning. That would be cool, because this is gonna be pretty chill stream, no readings, just intuitively learning the tarot, and then I'll eventually read the meanings from the book at some point. Not today, not here, but so here I see a person with blonde hair, looking kind of stern but determined, standing behind what looks like a pillar. It's really drawn badly. I suppose it's supposed to be a chariot, but it kind of looks like one of those things where like slaves would pull them. It's like there's sticks missing to pull it from the front end and the back end as the person is like sitting and walking through town. This is what this looks like. It doesn't actually look like a chariot. It looks like he's in a box. If anything, he kind of looks like a statue. So this to me looks pretty stagnant. Would you like to do 17 too? What do you mean, Alina? And how are you? And hi everybody who's in here just kind of chilling. I'm enjoying you being here with me. So it looks really stagnant. While this says chariot, and that's typically about movement, anytime it's in a reading, there's people typically say there's movement, but this doesn't look like it's moving at all. Hey, Lorenz. How you doing, King? I'm glad you're good. I'm so glad you're good, Alina. How's your week been? I'm noticing these stars. They kind of drapes of stars. He really does look like a statue to me, really immobile. I was watching a video once. Hello to the people entering. I was watching a video once where the guy said that these two, 17 is kind of 7 too. You mean the 17 of the major arcana? The star? The star? That's 17, right? X, V, 5, 6, 7. I have beef with the star. And then I realized the beef I have with the star is the beef I'm currently having with my spiritual journey right now. So that could be, that would be really funny as it ties into this because, yeah, he's not moving to me at all. And I was watching a video where someone said that these two aren't going in the same, they aren't looking in the same direction. None of the people in this are looking the same direction. He's looking at us, but through us. He's looking at us, but not really, like above our heads, and she's not even looking anywhere. So they're all looking in kind of different directions, so they can't go. And if this is what I'm thinking about it looking like one of those things where you carry the person, it's missing the sticks for movement. So to me, even though this is the chariot, it doesn't feel like anything's moving at all, which is really funny and counter to everything that the chariot says in tarot. So that's really interesting. He's wearing a wreath crown, which looks like the wreath crown from the Empress. So he could be the Empress's son or related to her, and he's leaving home. Maybe the Empress lives in that castle with the Emperor. He looks something of a messenger, very adorned in all these stars and moons. So maybe he travels at night, and during the daytime he's not traveling. Maybe that's why things aren't really set for him to move right now. He has wings. He reminds me of Mercury, the messenger god. Yeah, with the blue. He has symbols and stuff on his thing that he's wearing. He's wearing a lot of armor, and the saying "Don't shoot the messenger" comes to mind looking at him, and maybe that's why he wears so much armor, because the messenger may deliver news that people don't really want to hear, and they want to hurt the messenger, so he has to be protected. He has a stick, a rod here, which typically he's standing alone trying to take charge. I love that. Thanks, Alwina. Anybody who's watching and wants to see whatever else you're picking up, not necessarily my story, but kind of like your story. So mute me, but like not. He's definitely confident. He feels very confident. So I feel like when he gets his shit together, he's definitely like, when it's sunset, when it's time for him to move, he's gonna move. And rods, typically, it's like a scepter of some sort. It might be a directional, so when he points it, it might be where it's going. But this also reminds me of the sticks, the rods, in that they mean like messages or movement of something, or, you know, messages to me, really. So he is going to deliver some sort of something, but he doesn't have it yet, so he can't move. Feels like that hand is open, waiting for something to come into it. Just kind of there. Then I'm seeing boobs here on these two creatures. This one seems nervous. She's holding her tail in her hands. Pensive. Doesn't really know what's... Just pensive. Kind of nervous. This one seems like... You're right, he is protected, but this can mean he is emotionally closed off. Very true. He could very much be emotionally closed off, which makes sense. As a messenger, he can't have an attachment to the message. He just delivers it, regardless of what it is. So that's really, really cool. It kind of looks like a baby bottle bib thing. Wings, which assume that he will take flight at some point, or does take flight. He's flanked by, again, two kingdoms that look different structurally. This one looks wider, fatter. This one looks skinny and clustered. He's between two pillars that are the same equidistance. There's water behind him. So you're right, he is leaving emotion behind and moving towards wherever he's moving when he decides to move. This little guy here, this little sphinx-looking fellow, has boobs and is also holding their tail, but in a more certain way. It feels like this is a trainee, and this is like the trainer. This is like her first day on the job. Somebody said something. The black and white creatures makes me feel like there's need to be balance in order for them to move. I love that. Yeah. Yeah, it seems like their heads on right. Like their heads have the same that's the sameness of it. They are the same creature, but there is that duality and balance at the same time of this coloring, because these two are white is like the absence of color and black is the presence of all color, or is that flipped? Is black the absence of color and light is the presence of all color? Is that what it is? It's not what it is in painting. All colors are in black. This also slightly reminds me of masculine and feminine, black being feminine, white being masculine. Light illuminates and black receives. Conflict happening. I can't. Oh, he's wearing a gold sash and some hieroglyphs around it. He's very protected. Yeah, it does have a crown. Almost like it's like a star at the top. Like a north star, like when you follow the star. Come through. Who was that? Oh, Lena, you said that, right? The 17th? Yeah, when you follow the star, where will it take you? If you're looking at the shooting star could be the chariot going to deliver a message. So, okay, we got to the message being delivered at some point. The star. And the stars. But right now, he's not really... I mean, he might be gearing up to go. He looks like he's standing. Then again... Anyway, so that's that. And then... I go cups. Am I going cups? Oh, Swords was here before. 7 of cups. There are 7 cups. Here. Star is hope, so maybe his belief is firm. I like that. You know, I don't get hope from the star. I get crazy. It's the most misunderstood star. It's the most misunderstood card for me in the whole deck. I had a moment with the star, like a big moment, and then I realized, oh shit, the star is like totally me. I am in my star phase right now, which is anyway. There's 7 cups here. There's a man with his back turned to us. He's black. It's almost like he doesn't matter. But the clouds, spirit, or the powers that be are presenting these 7 cups to him. These cups have items in them, either some sort of tower or home, some sort of face that's not looking at him, some sort of something that we can't quite see. The star is Aquarius. Oh, I did not know that. I did not know that. I think I have Aquarius ascendant sometimes. I don't know. I really don't know. This cup has a snake in it, and a snake's supposed to mean wisdom, but to me it also means trickery and lies. This has a dragon of some sort in it. A serpenty dragon. But it's tiny. It's a little baby. Like How to Train Your Dragon, or the little dragon from Harry Potter. It depends on how you nurture this little guy, what he's going to turn out to be. Here there's a wreath, which again reminds me of the chariot. So that's the connection, in a way. And nobility. And even though there is this castle here, it kind of feels like home, nobility, trapped, prison. Hey, whoever's here, I'm just reading, learning the cards. If you have any input on what you're seeing here, please feel free to type it in and participate in this. That would be awesome. There's a blue background here. This is what I do, like, every night. I learn so that I'm better and more in touch with my... It's me learning the language of my intuition and introducing it to the cards so that it can use them to speak to me. And so far, so good. At least in terms of how I've used it. There's a lot of blue. There's some jewels here. Or candy. And it's glowing. The jewels are glowing and this woman being is glowing. Those are the only 2 glowy things. I'm doing great. Thanks, Alina. I appreciate that. Do you read, Alina? Do you read cards? Or tarot? Because I feel like I'm just changing position. I feel like, whew. the way I would read tarot would, yeah, but only for yourself. Oh, cool. How scary accurate is it? I feel like tarot readers will get really mad at me for how I will be using tarot. I'm really using it just to learn the language system, and then I'm just gonna freeball it like I do with the oracle cards. Just pa 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 pa. I don't know how it's gonna work out, but so far so good. Um, there's a cloud. It's almost like this person is being offered many things, and they have to choose one. It doesn't feel like any of them are gonna go away. It feels like there are two choices that are being encouraged, which is these, the riches or candy, and this kind of door number 2, the glowy one. This one predominantly. It looks like this one's trying to bite that. Looks like this one's sleeping or disappointed. What are you guys seeing here? Like, what else are you seeing? I'm seeing a blue background, so this really feels like gifts from the divine. The divine is offering multiple gifts here, and this person is stunned, and almost stunned into stone, like they've turned into a statue at all the choice that they have, all the things that they can have. They weren't expecting this, or at least they weren't expecting all of this to be at their fingertips to actually have. Yeah, it's okay. Tarot is a tool just like oracle cards. Good. I'm just afraid that tarot heads would be like, that's not what the 7 of Cups means, or like that's not what. But it's like, even with oracle cards, certain ones are like bad, but they're not. They are, right? But they. It's interesting. So I'm curious to see how it all works out. Anyway, I'm still learning, trying to approach it with as little bias as possible. But yeah, this guy has a lot to do. Jade, I feel like there's so many choices and opportunities for the person. I agree. I agree. Oh, thank you for the like. I appreciate it. Thank you for that. I know this is not like what everybody wants, but I figured, I know I'm an intuitive buff, and I know there's some people who might want to learn to read, and this is me being super transparent at learning something, you know? I like to be transparent here. So how does this relate to, hey, person who just came in, we just learning. We're looking at the cards and saying what we see. So I'm not sure if this is supposed to be a new identity for this person, a mask they get to put on, or something they get to wear. This could be a new type of home. Love your videos. Hey, Tamara Queen, how you doing, boo? I see, Tamara, what do you see in this card? I see dreams, desires, greediness, and ungrounding energy. Okay, okay, okay. Ungrounding because he's in the sky, right? He's in the clouds. Because there's no earth here. The only earth or grounding thing here is the fact that I feel like he's a statue and just frozen by all this choice. Which is something I was mentioning in the weekend read, if you guys watched that 2 hour long extravaganza, when it came to the heart reading. Hey everybody who just popped in. We're just, tell me what you see when you look at these cards. Was being stuck, immobilized at the fact of so much coming through. It's overwhelming. Getting what you want is overwhelming, and he's getting all of what he wants, and he's like, I can't handle it. It also talks a little bit about each one has its own little story, I suppose. DC, hello Luce, you are good at what you do. Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. Hey, I was just saying to myself, I should learn tarot. Oh my god. Awesome, Anna. Tell me what you see when you look at these cards. We're just learning together right now. I love your videos. Thanks, Cal. Oh, that's really sweet. Thank you. I needed that. I'm in a bit of a mood, so. No, he has nothing, actually. They are not real. Okay, okay. I can appreciate that. I can appreciate that he doesn't have anything right now. I feel like he... So, okay, what... So, some of the question seems like many paths or opportunities. Yes. I feel like... Oh, typically what I like to do is, like, I describe what I see, and then I'll say what's gonna happen next, right? What's gonna happen next with this guy is the sun is eventually gonna set. The sun is eventually gonna set, and then the people with the sticks are gonna come, or the sticks or whatever. This will magically turn into a chariot, I assume, and he will go deliver his message like a shooting star to wherever he needs to go, because I feel like he's the messenger, and he'll deliver it as the message, as is. Truth is truth, and how the person receives it is another story for another time. So let's say, for instance, that the messenger did deliver this to this guy, and he said, "Here you have it." This guy has options. He does have options. We got there, you guys. This guy has options. This guy has choice. This guy has gotten what he had said he wanted. But does he still want it? Does he want them all? Which one does he get to have? To me, this I keep hearing the line that Colette writes in her desk, which is what's yours won't be denied from you. So I feel like whichever cup he chooses, he will still have these other choices to turn back to. These are his. These are his gifts from the divine. So okay, let me go back to the comments. There's the comment about no, he has nothing really. So, I can understand. I get that he hasn't made a choice yet at this point, which then took me to what's gonna happen next. Something else that I'm seeing here is he has picked something because I'm seeing. Have you guys seen? Fuck my life. There's this. Jesus Christ. There's like 3 decks I want to get for tarot. Like this is my learner deck, but there's like 3 decks that I want to just explode with. And one of them is the. I get so excited talking about them. I went ham talking about them in the weekend reading. If you watched that, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. I'm so excited. I want to get them one day. I'm like, oh, itching at the fact of possibly getting them one day. It's the vice versa tarot. The vice versa tarot has no back. It's this side and that side, and on this side we see this, and then the other side we see this man with this like sinister face and like just like greedy, and like it's just this alternate view of this, and it's sick. So for me, that's what I'm seeing in my head, except in the hand that we can't see. I feel like he does have something. I feel like he did pick the cup that was right here in front of this snake one. I feel like he did pick a cup, to be honest. When I look at this, that in his other hand he may have a cup, and there are these other things that he picked, and maybe he should have picked this cup rather than the one that he has. So that's another story that could be happening here with this. um Alternatively, yes, he has nothing. It's all dreamy. I believe someone said that. um he is trying to manifest but is still in the clouds. Yeah, it's not in his possession yet. He's not holding any of them. I really like that. That's a really good. That's a really good one to keep. I agree that you are really good with those. Oh, with those cards. What made you get into them, girl? Spiritual freaking awakening. The shit sucks. It's just the worst. But then it's awesome. But then it sucks. Sorry, my music went off. Oh, my computer died. Anyway, long story short of how I got into them. I was doing some real deep meditations, and my meditations were taking me places, and I was hanging out with my highest self, and we were chilling, kicking it, doing some shadow work, and hanging out, and really going deep within Lumiere and uncovering what was uncovered. Basically, bringing the light of who I am into the darkness of who I am so I can be more in my fullness and my totality, which is something I always encourage. And then it was very emotional, it was very moving. Things were being unlocked and loosened, so obviously that was, a lot. And I acknowledged it for what it was, and then after a time, I stopped. When I was meditating, my highest self wasn't there anymore. And I was like, what the bleep? Where'd you go? I was speaking to my spiritual mentor, and she was like, well, maybe you're integrating, or maybe another guide is supposed to come along. And I'm like, I don't know about that. Um, So I was feeling real thirsty to get in touch with my highest self again. I was feeling super thirsty to get in touch with my highest self because I was like, where did you go? Like, we were bonding so well. It's like when your friend leaves you and you're like, you didn't even tell me you were leaving this day. So I got the Enchanted Map as my first deck, my first Oracle deck, and I had kind of been flirting with them. I don't know, one thing leads to another, inspired action. And I was like, maybe I should get some Oracle cards. Maybe I should get some Oracle cards. And my spiritual mentor always kind of warns against using them as a crutch. She always kind of is like, you want to be able to tap into yourself without the cards. You don't want to lean on them to get your guidance and speak with your highest self and what's best for you. So I was really nervous about doing that and nervous with some other stuff. The card Judgment is a really big card for me. So anyway, one day I just found myself in my car driving to a Barnes and Noble and I saw the cards, and there's a whole story on that in their video. They get their own. And that's how I started reading for myself during the season of Lent. I took that because to me Lent became like Jesus's journey into ego death and Jesus's journey into just exploring other sides of him and his shadow, the devil like testing him and really bringing up some things that he needed to see about himself. It's like, because it's true, he could turn stones into bread, like anything. He's God, but he didn't exercise his God power, and so there was that. And so anyway, Jesus' journey through ego death, and I was like, well, every time during Lent, I typically give up something, and I took on really following my intuition fully to the best of my ability, and that intention helped unlock things. Um, more things for me, and my intuition was like, get cards, and I was like, alright, I got cards, and I used that entire Lent span every day of reading, and then after Lent, I busted out this channel, and like my intuition is already pretty developed, but it's one of those things where you have it, but you don't know you have it in the way that you have it, so it's just kind of like all willy-nilly flapping around, and then now it's me time to hone it, so this is me honing something that was always there. It shows up in the work that I do. I'm sorry, the story was really long. People are like leaving. I apologize. I wasn't gonna go into it that much detail, but anyway, that's how I started reading for myself and through my hard time. Through my hard times, and that's how I'm able to read for you guys and say I recognize this energy in this space, and it's gonna be better because it will. It just fucking sucks in that fucking moment when you keep getting these same cards knowing full well that it means you can't do anything about it. Like, you just can't. You just have to wait it out, write it out. So anyway, it's a good time to learn though. Things are going well. It's not really... yeah, so that's how I learned, and I'm able to help in this way. And I think people find value, and that's really astounding to me that people actually find value in the stories I'm delivering. So that's really humbling for me. Okay, sorry. Sorry. Alright, let's do... I think there were some comments about the cards. So that's my answer, Tamara. It's a reminder that he needs to choose carefully because sometimes things present themselves as a choice, but they are traps. Okay. That's a good point, because the snake, if he had chosen the snake cup, especially even with the snake trying to get into that cup, it feels like he might choose this cup, but because he wasn't careful, or because he doesn't know, or because of something, whatever, he might get a snake in addition to this. I don't know what the fuck this is. What is this? It's a woman? A virgin woman? I don't know. But then also, snakes can coil at the bottom of things, so if he picks this cup, he might think, oh, it's empty, I can fill it because I need right now an empty cup. But he doesn't know there's a snake in there. Now, snakes do mean wisdom and XYZ, so there's that. But for me, snakes mean tricksters. Did I get the comments? Thank you all for just hanging out. I know we're not doing any readings necessarily, but this is me learning. So if you have any feedback or you're seeing some things in the card, please feel free to comment them and let's learn together. I like when elaborate each card. Awesome, Mandy. I appreciate that you like that. How did you develop your intuition each day? Well, Jade, I made a commitment to read for myself every day, every single day, and I continue to make that commitment. Have I missed some days? Yeah, if I'm out with a friend, but I collect bear and read. Those are the decks that I have of hers. Um, you know the decks, you've seen them. I read on her website. They have them there, so I'll just see what what the website has for me, and then go from there. But developing my intuition each day was being intentional about it by saying, like, intention is sick. My intuitive powers, my intuition has been evolving when it comes to the cards. If you've seen lately, like, the cards will have multiple messages to me, for me, and I get to deliver that. And a lot of my readings, if you order a reading and someone comes back to me and they're like, I need another reading because this happened, I'll typically go back to the recording of, I typically go back to the recording and watch their recording again or look at the layout of the cards. And for the most part, I can say, hey, what you're experiencing right now, like, go watch your reading again. What you're experiencing right now is right here with these cards, this section. So, just breathe, calm down, and things are going to move. So there's a lot of layers, and it's become real predictive. So that's new, or it's always been. I don't know. No, I think it's become more so predictive. Because I'll be reading for myself and I'll be like, what the bleep does this mean? And then a day later or 2 days later, I'll be like, oh, I'll see the cards flash in my head and I'm like, oh, that was that reading. I see. I understand. Okay. Do I have an Instagram? I've been thinking about making one. Do you think I should make one? Do you have an Oracle deck? I don't, but I do. Like, I have my own personal deck, which more so helps me. Helps trigger me. I just love hanging out with cards. Yeah, same. Let's doing it together, and thanks for all your advice. Yeah, I hope. All right, let's work on Seven of Pentacles. I was just wanting to learn. I hate that I was late to this. Oh, girl, don't worry about it, Carrie. Hey, boo. Hey, queen. You can watch this again in the replay. It's most likely gonna be listed. I won't unlist it. We're on. I'm doing just the sevens. I doubt we're gonna go to the eights because, yeah. Okay, so let's talk about the Seven of Pentacles, you guys. He looks like he's smiling, okay? He looks like he's smiling at the fruits of his labor, and that things are so ripe in his little section that one of them fell off. And he's like, oh boy. I almost feel like, for anybody who's new joining in, we're just saying what we see in the cards. No right or wrong answer necessarily, just seeing where it takes us. Because that's how you kind of build your intuition. You go into the card. Some people, one of my major tips, which I think I've seen on videos before and just other ways, and just meditation is like awesome, is where you look at the card and you go into the card. So you're not looking at the card, you are in this scene and you're looking at this man. How does that feel? What is the energy around him? What is that? So that's how I build my intuition with the cards and how I bond with them closer. I'll close my eyes and see it in my head and then move from there. That's how I bonded with many of the cards, and a lot of things happened. From cards that were just nonsense, a lot of shit popped off in those cards, and I was like, ooh, girl, wow. And that really helps with the readings, for you guys, anyway. So it feels like this got entirely too ripe, or it's ripening at a pace that he wasn't ready. Because now he's looking not so happy. How's your face keep... Sorry. His face keeps changing from, like, happy to sad. Now it looks sad. Before it looked happy. I feel like, yeah, okay, he was happy about this fruit. Because fruits fall off the vine when they're too ripe. The vine can no longer give them anything, any more sustenance. I feel like he's worried that these will also ripen. I feel like he's okay with this one, but worried about the fact that these might ripen too soon. before it's time for them to really be ripening. Like he's not maybe ready for them yet. Um, it looks like he knows he's accomplished a lot, but he also knows he needs to put in more effort to reap his full reward. Okay, Yanni. Anna. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, okay. I see you. I see you. He's saying like, this could be better. I see what you're saying. I can see that. Um, I can definitely see that. He's wearing blue and orange. It looks like he's either coming out of winter or going into winter. Things are a little bit cold. He's got a white collar on, so something of like a white shirt underneath. I don't know how these clothes were fashioned. I studied some of the other cards by myself, like all of them actually, and some of their clothing options is a bit sketch. Um, Blue, he looks exhausted from working so hard, but is waiting for the rest of the coins to be ready. Okay. He has come very far by the look of the mountains. Okay, 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 okay. I love this. This is awesome. I see you, yeah. Mountains in this little symbol book I was saying was abstract thought. It looks like the mountains. There's some brown in the background, and this is red earth, I guess. Yeah, red earth. And he has a hoe, but this also reminds me of like the rods, except there's nothing blossoming from it. So if rod means communication, maybe he's trying to communicate to the earth something. And pentacles do mean earth. Pentacles do mean to me something a lot more tangible, something grounded, something day to day, something human, very human experience. So perhaps he's trying to communicate to the fruits of his labor. His hands have worked. They're both piling on top of this rod, this communication stick to speak to the ground. I don't know what message he's trying to say here. Some of these leaves are more ripe than the other, more green than the other. There are 6 pentacles, 6 coins attached to the bush, and 1 coin between his feet. The sky is clear. And he is alone in this field. The mountains are close. They're closer than some of the other mountains I'd be seeing. And they're purple. Purple is like divine something. He is also impatient, scared that his hard work would not pay off even if he has worked so hard. I agree. I can definitely see that. Oh, thank you for the like. I appreciate that. I can see that, especially with the story of this one has ripened already and he's afraid that if these ripen too soon, then all of his hard work of toiling for them would have been worth it, yes, but then also not worth it because they came too soon. They came too soon for him, and so he's kind of thinking like, okay, what do I do? How do I slow this down? Or, yeah, how do I slow this down? So, what were you saying, Alina? You were saying impatient. So, yeah, he could be, there's that other side of the coin, which is, if it's from impatient, scared that his hard work would not pay off, even though he worked so hard. Which is funny, because it's the same essence of the message. Like, it's the same essence of the message. That tail end of it is worried about the work that he's done and wondering if it's too soon, or if it's too late, according to what you saw as well. There's red earth. What is red earth? Red earth reminds me of home. Why is the earth red? It could be that the land is also barren, and this is the last fruit, and that's what he's also worried about. Thank you for the like. I'm glad you're enjoying this no reading session. Anybody else see anything here? Or what else do you see here? He looks really prepared for the winter. So if that's the case, if he is prepared for the winter, but these are blooming, he could be worried that only one pentacle has fallen off. The reverse of what I was saying, the opposite of what I was saying, where he's, like you were saying, Alina, where only one has fallen off, and rather than him worrying that these will come off too soon, he might be worried that these will come off too late, because they are ripe. The grass is the bush is quite green. They are at fullness as this one, but why haven't they fallen off yet? Are they gonna fall off before the frost hits? Because he's wearing warm clothing. So if he's waiting for winter, he might be worried that the the winter will come before these get to fruition. So he's pensive, he's thinking. Yes, that's what I was thinking. Is that what you, okay, Carrie, speak up, girl. Ain't no wrong answers here. Look, this just talk. That's what I do in my readings. I just talk because I know how my intuition works. It works like step by step. So it'll be like, oh, there's a pentacle. There's another pentacle. He's wearing shorts. I mean, he's wearing pants and shoes. His legs are spread open. A part of him is facing this side, a part of him is facing that side, from the waist down, from the waist up, all of him is kind of agreed. But one hand is facing this side, one hand is facing that side. So he's a little bit split down the middle. Except his attention, as the stick is mostly looking this side, just like his head and this stick dividing his body is mostly on that side. However, there is a pentacle here that's on this side of him, the direction that he's not really looking at. So, what's the see? I was just talking. That was me just talking. I just talk. I just talk, Carrie. That's the secret. I just talk, and then it makes sense somehow. It's so bad. I shouldn't say that. Probably not giving myself enough credit. Someone just left. They're like, "Yeah, you do just be talking." I'm unsubscribing. But I mean, it makes me a clear vessel, I guess. Okay, so what's gonna happen next? What do you guys think is gonna happen next with this guy? Personally, I feel like he's going to turn all of his body towards the pentacles and give them all of his attention. So he'll be leaning with this side to us while his body is facing there. And he might put that pentacle on the green grass and focus his attention on those. And ponder them with his full attention. Or he is thinking how to deal with the situation he is facing. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yep. IDK, I feel like with the mountains, the worst is behind him. Okay, Anna, that's a good answer. That's a good one. You don't have to, yeah, I like that. IDK, I like that. Like, if he need other people to help him carry, or he carry everything himself. Oh, that's so good. Yes, Alwina. How can one man carry all these pentacles? We saw what happened with the Four of Pentacles. Oh, you guys, the Four of Pentacles story is so sad. When I was like, learning it, I was like, oh my god, this poor guy. Because then what happens in the Five of Pentacles is really freaking sad. Let me show you what happens in my head with the Four of Pentacles. It's really sad. In the Four of Pentacles, maybe his focus is split. He wants to focus on what is already in front of him, but has something pulling his attention away. Yeah, 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 I like that. Yeah, I like that. I like that, Carrie. Yeah, with that whole half of his body. Even though most of his attention, his head, his stick is that side, the majority of his body is on the other side. Yeah, as someone said, maybe to the journey that's behind him, he's still in that between world state, just pondering. Maybe he's even sleeping. Who knows? He's tired. He's worked hard. The Four of Pentacles. This man is. I feel like they came to take his stuff. He's sad. He's worried. And he's looking at everything he's worked for. Yeah, everything he's worked for being taken away from him. He has a crown. He's wearing all these garbs. He's got some fancy garb on. So he looks like he comes from some prominence. Now, he's trying to, like, they came to take his pentacles. They came to take everything from him. And he is like, but these were the first 4 pentacles I ever made. These were my favorite pentacles. Like, I'm gonna try my best to keep these pentacles because you are not taking these things away from me. Like, no. I don't know what he's doing with this one because this is the easiest one to take. I mean, what you gonna do, buddy? Nothing. He's got 2 pentacles underneath his feet and he's holding this one. He's like, you ain't taking my shit. No, they're mine. But you know what happens next, right? This is so sad. It's trust issue. I like that. I like that. Trust issue. Yes. I like that. That's really cool. I didn't get that, but I like that. I can totally see it. So he's holding on to his stuff. He's got two, one under his feet, one in his hand, one on his head. But baby, they broke his legs to get his pentacle. This man's legs are broken. He can't hold no pentacle because now he has to support his legs, and he lost even the one that was above him because he couldn't defend it because he was so tied down trying to. He lost everything trying to hold on to everything. It's sad. When I was doing this, I was like, oh shit, that's the guy from the Four of Pentacles. This is so sad. It's sad. It made me really, really sad. I think that's when I couldn't stop. I had to go to 6, where at least this man is giving to somebody. But I was like, yeah. Anyway, okay, cool. So we're done with this. Oh wait, how does this relate possibly to the chariot? I feel like there's an attitude of like nature doesn't care. like nature is this man. Nature is just gonna do what it's gonna do. It doesn't really care whether you're ready or not. Same as that, actually. Tell me something different. But from what we were talking about, at least how I relate is that it doesn't matter whether he's ready or pondering. It's whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. Whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. So deal with it. That's so cruel. Freaking Major Arcana. Such dicks. Alright, I hope you guys don't mind. I mean, if you do, man, I'm not the person for you. I mean it with love. Like, it comes from, like, God trying to find ways to move forward. Oh, Alwina, way to bring it home. I am just such a... Yeah, okay, you guys are so much better than I am. You guys are good people. I mean, good. Okay, awesome. Awesome, 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 awesome. Trying to find ways to move forward from this situation. You guys are beautiful people. Whatever comes will come. Yes, you guys said that much better than I did. So kudos to you. I love that. And my girl, Queen, Empress Tarot. Oh my god, my battery's so low. Sorry. I love this. Aw. I'm glad you guys are here with me learning this. This is awesome. To all those who are sticking around and hanging out. I know it's not readings, but I figured why do this by myself if I can do this with other people and see more points of view, you know? And also to show how, like, we read differently, intuitively, but it's sometimes the essence is the same or not the same or different depending on what else is out there. Like with this, like you guys said, as these two relate, it's whatever comes will come, trying to find ways to move forward. So this tells a story already, which is awesome. I'm trying to get to telling a story with tarot by itself without oracle cards. But I really love that I learned oracle cards first because then I can just clarify what this card is specifically trying to say, which is balls deep. Awesome. Sorry about that. That was crude. So what was, yes, so it's telling a story of you've been waiting, but something, and this feels like it could still both be waiting, but if you got like the star next or some sort of like something here, it tells a story of you worked hard, you've been working, because especially if it's this side, because he's facing towards that, things were stalled, but they are moving towards whatever. If it's on this side, it's you moved to something, a new stage, and now you're kind of looking at this new stage and seeing what it'll bring you. That's what I get from that. So I'm trying to learn how to tell a story with just tarot, but I'm pretty sure my readings are going to be heavy different from how other people graciously do it. It's fascinating. I haven't fully looked at the meaning and stories behind the cards properly. I love how you're explaining it. Oh, Empress Tarot. Dude, I'm just learning with you guys right now. Like, this is my first time. This is me introducing myself to the cards. When I get oracle cards, I flip through each one and say hello, name, hello, name. I've very interesting rituals. Yes, rituals, but like very interesting ways that I personally bond with my cards. With tarot, it feels different. It feels like a very different helper, and I'm bonding with them differently. I've never done this with my oracle cards where I sit down with them, take them out, organize them, and say, let's get to know each other. We're dating right now. um, this is something that I have to do with tarot because it's each suit tells a story. Each suit with its number, with its or arcana tells a different. Like I'm just building a language here. So thank you for that. I know you read tarot, so that's awesome to hear that from you. I appreciate that. Um, yes, these stories are ones I'm just intuitively making up. As everything that I do, I just intuitively make up a story, and my highest self makes sure it's a story that um, speaks to you. So that's pretty awesome. Where do you get your cards? I get them from Barnes and Noble. The only card that I have, the only card deck that I haven't seen in stores is the Romance Angels deck. But this deck, real talk, this particular deck was made for me. I have a story on each of my helpers. Obviously, these are new, and I'm really surprised that I'm sharing them with you right now. But um, there's no story for this yet. But there is a story for my Enchanted map and my Romance Angels. It's a lot of giggles because my Romance Angels and I are like best bays. We brothers from another mother type thing. Like we were flirting from across the room, and then it was fire when we finally touched. Like it was just everything. Getting creepy with my cards. Um, okay. Thank you for doing this so everyone can help each other. Thank you for being here, Alwina, and everybody participating. I love it. You guys tell me what you see with the Seven of Swords before I start. I should have said that first. What do you see with the Seven of Swords here? Or even trying to get balance with working and resting. Oh, I like that. Ooh, Alwina, come fucking through. This is balance between working and resting, like just taking a break. I like that. I really like that. I was looking at the Four of Swords, which is that card, but I was like, oh boy, looks dead. Like, I don't know how they get the other meanings, but he looks dead. Okay. This to me feels like, yeah, I really, really like what you just said. Thanks for that. So glad you're here. All right, what deck do you recommend getting first? Whichever one speaks to you. It's kind of a cop out. I do oracle cards because that was the way that I could reconcile talking to God and Him talking to me without praying or without the other ways that sorry. um someone locked on. Fuck, what? Yeah, oracle cards were the way that I could reconcile within myself and my spirituality and my faith that cards can communicate with me. Like music communicates my feelings. My like I was communicating with my highest self in meditation, in other ways. So it's crazy. It continues to be crazy to me that these cards are can speak to me, like in crazy ways. There was the time I was about to take a nap, but I hadn't done my daily pull. And so I pulled my Wisdom of the Orca deck, and I was just shuffling, like, okay, what do you got? What do you have to say for me today? And then the card that came out was time for a nap, and I was like, you guys are hilarious. So I put them away, and I went to take my nap. So, Oracle cards and just talking to God, and like it's really for me, I, it's so disrespectful the way I swear at them, but it's one of those things where like it's only something you do with people who know your heart, you know? It's only something you do with people who know you, who you know that it's coming from a place of like love. So I can get like, they can joke with me and be like, take a damn nap, like sit your ass down, Luce, go to bed, like you're fucking tired, what are you doing trying to read here, like go to bed. That's how it, I hear it in my head, but not like, you know, lovingly. um it's like your friend who, if you've been heartbroken and you haven't been eating or taking a shower, she comes up to you and she's like, bitch, fucking clean your ass up, you know what I mean, like it's from love. Anyway, um so yeah, the cards are really, there's a lot of moments where I'll be reading and I'll just look up at the sky and be like, okay, that was really cute, like thank you for giving me that hug. Anyway, when it comes to picking your first deck, I did a lot of research on how to pick a deck. If you watch my enchanted map video, Carrie, I was looking personally for what I know I like in a deck. Thank you for that like, I appreciate it. I'm gonna get to the Seven of Swords soon. I know we still have to do the Seven of Wands, so what do you guys see here? While I'm talking, just kind of like let the cards speak to you and describe what you see. What are you seeing here? What do you think is happening here? And um, start thinking about what you think will happen next. I think he's a bit of an idiot. But not really. He reminds me of the Five of Swords, because the Five of Swords is not... He just... You can't fucking fight with three-ass swords, B. Like, even with... You just... I feel... Man, the Five of Swords, I do feel sorry for them, because it's that guy that, like... He thinks he's the shit, but, like, everyone around him doesn't agree. They all talk shit about him behind his back. And he doesn't know that, and it makes me really sad, actually, the this Five of Swords, because anyway, keep describing this. I'm loving this. If you watch my enchanted map video, I've met this deck before I even met the deck, but really, Carrie, decide and figure out what. Excuse me. What's important to you about a deck? What's important to you about a deck? For me, something that I really wanted from an oracle deck, because I didn't want tarot cards, was I wanted it to be a deck that had reversals. To me, reversals mean something to me. So the vice versa tarot is, there's this side and that side. So you see the front side and the back side, but neither one is the front, neither one is the back. And people are really confused about the vice versa tarot, because how do you read it? When you flip it, when it lands, do you read that one or do you flip it over? You just don't know. And then when you read, if this is the Seven of Swords as we know it, would the reverse side, the other side, be the Seven of Swords reversed, or what? You know, what is the card actually saying in that deck? Now that's a massive challenge for anybody, and I'm a beginner. I don't even read tarot. I'm like less than a beginner. But I am so thirsty for that deck, because the possibilities are just tenfold. Because fuck, like that's 4 different stories one card is telling. This story, this story, this story, and that story, and I'm just like, deeper. So anyway, I like reversals personally, and so I wanted an oracle card deck that had reversals. The Romance Angels don't have reversals, but I do read them in reverse. But some of the cards, because they were born without having reversals, even when they're reversed, they still mean the same thing they mean upright. But that's an intuitive thing. So it differs from reading to reading what I'm doing, and depending on what other cards are out there. When I was doing the why he fell for you video, which seems to be, I am so surprised by all the accuracy, but I really should give myself more credit, to be honest. Give my intuition more credit. I think I should really honor that a little bit more. But yeah, from one card, by just doing this that we're doing right now, I was able to tell a story on how people feel about them. Masses of people. And if you read the comments, you can see that people that picked 4 had a similar essence story, and you can see why that was the card that number they picked, why it drew them to it. And You guys start thinking about what's gonna happen next. Did I redo that? Yeah. And it's just really amazing how energy and vibes work. It's sick. I think somebody liked the video. Thank you so much. All right, so you guys get to go first. I do like the collect decks. When it comes to picking a deck, the imagery needs to speak to you. So for me, I like images. I was really gonna use tarot as just like an image thing to trigger deeper messages, but even when you do that, you gotta learn the basic language. At least I want to. All right. And this opens so many doors for me in terms of different decks. I actually pulled the Seven of Swords for someone who had run away from home when they were younger. Oh, wow. Oddly enough, it could be running away from a situation with what you do have. Wow, I love that, Anna. Wow, that's insightful. Wow. I feel like he's trying to juggle too much and is too focused on what he's leaving behind. Okay, okay. I see you. I see you. I just want to say I absolutely adore you and your vibes. Thank you, Jay. I appreciate. Thank you. God dang, I appreciate that. Thank you. Seven of Swords. He is sneaky. Hey, Gloria, how are you? He don't know where he's going. Come through. That's cute. OMG. Is that a story I was telling? He's leaving the carnival wearing that hat and boots. Sneaky, sneaky. Looks like he's running away from the fun life with his left foot first. He knows he needs to find balance in his life, but he has too many killing thoughts. Okay, okay. One sword for you, and one sword for you, and one sword for him. It can mean someone is taking things away from you. Beware of who is surrounding you. Okay? Or he is just a protector of the swords. I've heard that story as well. Just putting them away after the show. Best piece of advice I got was the deck you're drawn to and having a hard time reading the cards is your most powerful deck. That deck will be your best one. That's very interesting. I like that. With my enchanted map, I actually had the deck before I ever had the deck because I'm gonna show you something. I'm so sorry. I'm like prolonging this. I promise we'll talk about the Seven of Swords. Okay. I totally forgot to put this in the how I met the enchanted map deck video, but this. Oh, come here, my little babies. This is the box for the enchanted map. I saw this in the store and I was like, this looks boring. This doesn't visually appeal to me. What the deuce? There's the whole story in the video. Whatever. 2 years, 3 years ago or something, or 5, I don't remember, years ago, I saw this case on eBay. Okay. I've had this in my possession for a while. Thank you for liking the video. I appreciate that. I appreciate that so much. Thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying this. Okay. And then for Christmas, it's like last year's Christmas, I think. My brother got me this to match this, of course, but he got me this for my passports. Do you see how I've had this deck, which I avoided, by the way. I was like, that deck is ugly. It's not for me. It looks boring, but my eyes kept looking at it. My eyes kept looking at it intuitively, just kept looking at it. That's just, even when I'm reading cards for you guys, the card that I keep looking at, that keeps like getting me. I'm like, what are you trying to tell me? So anyway, that's why I say I've had this deck before I ever even had it or knew I was ever gonna have it, because I had it. Okay, Seven of Swords to me, I know that we give this guy a tough time. We give him a tough time. To me, the Seven of Swords, what's happening here? There's a man, smiling man, very happy, jovial. We see his hair. Is that a hair or a hat? Kind of looks like hair, but then he's also got curly hair. He's got different hair from every other character we've seen, although he does kind of remind me of the Four of Pentacles hair. Hello to anybody walking in. We're just describing the card. Tell me what you see. He is wearing some sort of frock and tights, very daintily kind of sneaking away or jovially walking away. There are tents behind him, colorful tents, and Tense is wearing a fez. Yes, that matches his shoes. Top and bottom match. He's on some sort of road, the same road that the lovers were, that the two of cups were on. Let me show you the two of cups. Oh, it's it's darker. Or it could be the fact that the sun is now set and the road looks darker. Just an observation. So things like that matter. So for instance, I'm sorry you guys, I know we're talking about tarot and not anything else, but when it comes to the romance angel cards, for anybody who's a reader in here, have you ever noticed like the relationships between certain cards? Because I have, obviously, because I read them. If you watch the weekend read, you know what I'm about to say. But where the hell are you guys? There you are. Have you noticed? Have you ever noticed that? So either he came back mature, or they might be the same person, or she just gets down with the get down with different types of people, or in a different life. Here they were maybe poorer, and here they were pentacles, and here they were swords, richer, higher class. These were just people living their lives, living their best lives. Yeah, same person, older. Yep, basically the same. Yep. You see that? Like they're related. So whenever I see certain cards, it may trigger me to other cards if that's part of the message. But same person, older. All right. Yeah. So it's interesting with this. And then there's some other cards that continue speaking in the way that they do. But these two, you guys know my beef with passion. I think in Meet My Romance Angels, I told you how much I bonded with passion in the same way I'm bonding with the tarot cards. Because passion is the card that I never got anything from. I was like, this is the least anything card ever. And I started ranting about it, which is again how my guidance starts. One thing leads to another, and I'm like, he's just wings as an angel. She's a human. They can't be together. They can never be together. It's not like, oh, ding ding ding, reconciliation. In reconciliation, they're more of the same being. Now, something else I'm seeing is also they're still in a dreamlike state. Anyway, I talk about this in the weekend video. I'm not gonna. This could be her too. Anyway, moving away from this. We're not talking about the romance angels. We're talking tarot. He is a bit of an idiot in that he's very jovial. He reminds me a bit of the Fool in a way. He just seems like a very happy guy, nonchalant. Like I kind of want to hang out with him. He seems like Thank you for the like. I just see that. Thank you. And for everybody coming in, we're just talking to the cards, just trying to see what messages they have for us. He's also wearing a white collar, some frock, like a giraffe frock, which is interesting. He looks quite tall and short at the same time. He looks short. But he is either an experienced at carrying swords or an idiot or really strong, or these are fake swords. Because these in the back almost look like real swords, sturdy. But you can't carry swords like this. You're gonna get cut. Like you just can't. You can't carry swords like this. So maybe these are fake swords and he's taking them away, or he's like, ha ha ha, I'm strong. Maybe they were used for a trick in the circus. But you can't carry swords like that, and swords are heavy. You can't carry two swords at the tip like that. That's just bogus. This sword looks like it's slipping out. So typically when I see this, I feel like what's going to happen next is something's going to happen to trip him, and he's going to cut himself on these swords. Or now that I'm seeing that this sword is loose and he's only holding to it with a finger, this baby's going to hurt himself. Actually, in any scenario, he's going to hurt himself. Because this sword might flip over and then he'll stumble because he's not looking at where he's going, and then he's gonna hurt himself on the sword, and then the other swords will fall. He's gonna cut himself up real bad. This poor little angel. I'm not mad at this guy, you guys. I know Seven of Swords is like that sneaky snake, blah blah blah, but he could also be caretaker of the swords of the zoo of the this thing, this place. He's almost frolicking. Yes, that's the word, frolicking. He's just such a jovial dude. He's chilling. I feel like he's got a song in his heart. He's just just humming, you know? He can hurt himself by doing it, and he couldn't realize it at this moment. No, in this moment, he's just feeling the bliss of like a small victory. Things are not going to end well for this poor guy. If I saw this in a reading, I'd be like, you be careful. You may have won this battle, but you about to get hurt. Winter boots in the summer, not prepared. Okay, Jay, take those question marks away. You know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. Okay, I like that. Winter boots in the summer. Why are you wearing winter boots? You can sneak with winter boots. Flip-flops in the summer make noise. People know where you're going. People know where you're at. This terrain looks pretty dry. There's no water. There's not much grass. Not much abundance. What's going on there in the background? Are people fighting? Is that a stick? What the hell is that? Does anybody else have their tarot cards out? What is that? There's like people doing stuff in the background. But nobody can see him. I bet when he topples over himself, they're gonna see him after that. What are you doing with these swords, boy? I was just, they're not even sharp. They're not real. We want our money back. Oh no. Oh, oh. What a fine mess you've gotten yourself into. Oh, little baby. Maybe he's pulling a prank with his friends, and they're like, hey, Joseph, I bet you can't. Do. Anyway, there's lots of, there seems to be a drought, and maybe they came to entertain the people in this town. It's very minimal there. Lots of entertainment, trickery goes on in circuses and places like that. He is one walking away, but his head is turned in the opposite direction. He's for sure bound to fall. Yeah. He's gonna get caught. Oh, jeez. I just want to give him a hug and be like, don't do this. This is not the life you deserve. You deserve better. God has something bigger for you. Leave this life of crime. I'm very affectionate towards this young man. He just seems so happy. Look at him. You guys, look at his face. I have to go. I can't be with him anymore. Oh, this little baby. He's just trying to have fun. Oh, my eyes are watering. Alright. Oh, you guys, since we're probably not going to get to the 9 until I'm by myself, I wanted to tell you I had the funniest time with this card. I looked at some cards ahead of time. Like, in my... Don't worry about it. So, if eight of rods is, like, messages, right? It could be a warning that one should be aware of the consequence. I like that. I like that a lot. I'm going to go back to something because I completely ignored the suit. Yeah, we'll go back to that, but 8, like, this is, like, messages, right? When I see this card, I get really excited, because I'm like, yay, I'm gonna get a message, a reconciliation, woo! And then I get it, and I freak out, and I'm just like this guy, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. Anyway, I feel like this card really explains me when I do get the messages that I'm like, I really want them, then I get them, because the messages are behind him, right? He's got the message. but he got bopped on the head with one. You guys, he got cartoon bopped on the head by one of these. Oh my god, by one of these sticks. That's funny. Anyway, the stick he's holding is of middle height compared to all of the sticks. And he could be standing here protecting the messages. He could be standing here guarding the messages. He could be here trying to understand the message, trying to gather his bearings after being bopped on the head by this message that he wasn't expecting at all. But anyway, I just wanted to... Wait. Yeah, 8. I just wanted to go into that for a bit. Anyway, okay, so... Anna. Lol. It's funny to me. It's funny to me. Swords mean what? Thought. Logic, clarity, things that you sharpen. You can't carry swords like this. So, in relation to that very tiny knowledge I have of swords, in terms of it being thought, there's not much thought gone into this. It's very instant gratification type thought. That's a good one. Okay, come through loose. And the more stable type of thought is behind this person. There's no going back. After what happens here. How does this relate to the chariot? Oh, things are gonna happen fast, and there's no going back after you get cut up in front of all those people. Oh God. Okay. What do you guys see? Thank you for the like. I just seen that. 7. Awesome. What do you guys see here? Oh, he looks scared. I feel like he's standing on top of the world somehow. Wow, I never saw that before. Well, I never really looked either. Lots of green, lots of yellow. He's fighting for something he believes in, but it feels like also he's fighting people he doesn't want to. Because his face is very, like, I don't want to hurt you. To me, it looks like, I don't want to hurt you, Susan. You know, Mark, back down, Mark. I don't want to hurt you. Sorry, I'm so uncomfortable. Just keep looking at this card and tell me what you think. What you see. What's coming up for you? Someone who's marking their territory or being defensive. I like that. In other cards, he has like a thug face. Like he's like, bring it, Mark! I got your answer. It's almost like he's defending himself, defending his opinion, defending his territory, standing his ground. If I'm trying to tune into the fact that, like, in my mind, rods are messages, defending his right to, he is in defense and standing his ground. Yeah, Gloria, yes. And it feels like he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to have to. But there's so much opposition. And it feels like some of this opposition, he was expecting it maybe, but there's some faces that he didn't expect to be. Oh, this is sad. Some people that he didn't really think he would have to defend himself against. Yes, okay. Wands for me are passion. Come through, thank you. Defending something he's passionate about. Yes. 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 I love that, Jay. And then Gloria, just notice he's on the edge on the left. Come through. He needs to find stable grounds. Okay, okay. To me, it feels like it's him against the world in a sense. Yes. Okay. Funny enough, literally, because he is against the world by standing on it, but then also against the world, like leaning against the world, but then also like, fighting against the world. Yeah, I like that. You guys see the world part that I'm like tuning into, right? Like this terrain looks like Earth. He is lonely and no one supports him. Yeah. He needs to find stable grounds. Yeah. Can you tell me what Six of Swords would mean for a soulmate's first impression? Ugh. Where's the Six of Swords? Which one's that one? I should know better. This card, to me, represents in between worlds. I know people say it's typically moving towards something, and it's true. It's just I look at this water being rippled, and this water being still as fuck. Abnormally still. Even if he's rowing on this end, this water should still have some ripples in it. And from other cards, we can tell that the water can be rippled. The water is quite icy here, so it almost looks like as the rod touches this water, it becomes ignited. So take that as you will. I'm not sure what the basic meaning is for you. You can bring him out of sadness. Okay, yep, I like that. I like that. That's awesome. So Aaron, take a look at the card and see what it speaks to you about, but then really if you don't have them, just look it up on Google and see what like the basic meaning of it is. A friend did a reading for me and a soulmate's impression of me. We got Six of Swords. Okay. How I would interpret it is completely different because it's also like universally, yeah, the cards mean something, but at the same time, depending on the reader, I mean, the message is the message, but for me, for instance, certain cards mean certain things. There are certain cues for me. So maybe, do you understand what I'm saying? I don't know how to explain it. For me, if this means, I don't know how to explain it. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome, Aaron. I definitely look it up. I know what you mean. Definitely look it up and see like, because I did a reading on very similar to your question and I got Seven of Swords in reverse. Is that regretful? Would that be regretful? Because he snuck away and there's no going back to that, so he's being regretful. Because I did ask, what does my XYZ think about me? And it came up like this. So come through, intuitive reading. Anyway, yeah, he's standing alone against the world. Wait, you guys, what? Wait, is this 7? Yeah, it's 7. Okay. What were the other comments about this? Hey, everybody who's here. We're just looking at the cards and like, intuitively reading them. So just describe the card, see what the card is impressing upon you. Thank you for this. See you soon again. Sending you love and light. Oh, thank you, DC. I'm so glad you were here for this and sharing. It's been such a pleasure having you. All of you. Thank you guys so much for like sticking around. I know it's not really, reading about anything in particular, but I figured I'd share with you something that I've been doing. Because, work goes behind all this stuff. Anyway, yeah, very earthy. So someone said passion. I like that. Is his passion strong enough? He certainly hopes so. The sky is not necessarily all clear. There is blue, so there seems to be a gradient of sky from clear to dusty blue to like super blue. So, what is super blue? To me, that feels like night. Girl, it's 11 p.m. here. I'm going to sleep. I'm going to watch this on replay tomorrow. Okay, Carrie. Just so you know, Carrie, we're at, right now for me, it's an hour, 24 minutes. So you want to write that down. If you really, like, want to watch this continue for sure, then tune in at the hour, 24 minutes so you don't have to watch the whole thing. It's like almost 10 p.m. here. What's going to happen next? In the deck that I'm also, he has 2 different shoes. Oh shit, you're right. Oh, Jay. Okay, come through with that observation. Oh, yeah, we did talk about this edge of the cliff, right? This looks like a man's shoe. This looks like a boy's shoe. I don't know why. I know. Come through, Jason. This is why this had, man, come through. That was awesome. I never saw this clip either, so you guys are bringing the fire. Um, there is a stream here, so there's more emotion coming from that shoe and that kind of area than here. What does that cliff mean? The cliff reminds me of the Fool. Um, so there is emotion, some emotion involved in this, obviously. And someone said passion. Cool. Because I'm seeing that water. He's trying to stay grounded, but he's also on a higher ground where he can see a higher perspective. So maybe he has to deliver a message as the chariot is the messenger. So I like that tie in, but also it's wands. He has to deliver a message that is from a higher perspective. If we're assuming his perspective, yeah, no, from a higher perspective, and the crowd below him is not really receiving it well, shall we say, or may not receive it well. And it's he's heated. I mean, it's he's grounded in his message, in his fight, but um he also does have an emotional tie to the higher ground message. This in reverse would probably mean the opposite. I in the after tarot, which is yes, yes, he has a different view compared to the others. Oh, and is he maybe not ready for the messages in Eight of Wands? Are they coming to him? Oh, I don't know, right? Because to be fair, this looks like an attack. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, we don't like your shit. Get out of here. We don't like what you talking about. Get out of here. From the other side. That's very interesting. I haven't, right now, I'm still going through how each suit or whatever goes with the major arcana. Some of them work, some of them don't. At least not for me right now. And then I'm eventually going to go back. Lots of learning. And do a story of each suit. Don't worry, I'm not going to do it for you guys, but I'll do it for myself. I really like that observation. There was something I missed. Is he maybe not ready for the Eight of Wands? Yeah. I mean, alternatively, this could also be if this is coming from a higher perspective. If he's coming from a higher perspective, perhaps he gets help. I'm so uncomfortable. Alternatively, he gets help from a real higher source to help him combat these, and then they're outnumbered because there's 8 and 9 and there's only 6 here, so that wins. Well, you hope they win. Plus it's from above. You can conk a lot of people on the head. And this is them being like, all right, we submit, fine. We agree, we get it. And then they're like, all right, now we gotta carry these. I feel like this could be him even being like, okay, now that we know this message, we're gonna carry it to everybody else. And that burden is strong because we know that this might happen. People might not receive it well. Maybe, but we're just making up stories, right? All right. Someone said, well, I think the Six of Wands has to do with praise and acclaim. So maybe the Seven of Wands had to do with the criticism that comes with acclaim or being on top of the world. I appreciate that, Anna, because firstly, the easiest suit for me to read is this. For me, when I saw this, it felt like, what happened? I completely forgot. it felt like this didn't feel like a good card to me. Like, you know, the typical message of like, yay, victory. It kind of felt like there's an uprising in town. And at first impression, I was like, he's moving through town looking at all the peasants in the uprising. But then I saw this wreath being like, oh, you know, he's leading the uprising. So I really like that story that you're telling there. For what it's worth. Okay, so what's gonna happen next? In the after tarot, he jumps down from his higher perspective to fight on their level. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. Does that mean he is using their language to speak to them? And that's how he's able to help them move over to his side? Or does that mean that he fell off the higher ground and went and stooped to their level, right? Either that's what's so cool about that, because you just don't know. The same action has a different side to it. Or if he jumps down, oh cool, he's getting down to their level to explain things in a place where they can understand. Or is he going down to really just like nitpick on them in the same way that they're nitpicking on him? Yeah, I know. I was really surprised too. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know how this reading is gonna go when I start reading tarot, because this to me was like, I totally get what you're saying about like, oh, Jesus is here, he's riding on his donkey, things like that. That's different. Six of Wands kind of reminds me of the whole Jesus Hosanna moment. Yeah, I get that. For me, I was like, it's kind of like, oh, hey, peasants, look at my fancy horse while you guys are on your feet. But, again, I also do see the Jesus Hosanna moment. So maybe that's like a reverse thing for me. I don't know. What's gonna happen next, you guys? I feel like, oh boy, might slip on that water, man. I feel like he might slip on that water. But then I think he's gonna get up and continue fighting. Oh, he's adorable. Oh, he's a champ. He's really righteous. He does remind me of the Fool. Yeah, that cliff edge reminds me of the Fool. A little bit of Temperance too. Why? I haven't really even bonded with Temperance yet. The way he is carrying his wand is just so off to me. He is unwilling to listen to advice. Oh, you guys, coming through with the kickers. His left hand's going to get hit. Okay. His foot might get swiped. You know? I doubt he's wearing a jock strap or some sort of crotch protection. Tender bits. I don't know if he was prepared for this, to be honest. In the reverse, he might not have been prepared for this, baby. He wore 2 different shoes getting ready for this fight. He was not ready. What happened to you, Seven of Wands? Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know how he's gonna do. But funny enough, he is the only wand that I've seen that has flowers on both ends. Growth on both ends. So that's interesting. Being the black sheep, whether it is good or bad. Exactly. Right. Is this good or bad? I don't know. Is this good or bad? I don't know. Typically, this is a card where you're like, oh, damn, they cheating on me, you know? Like, but anyway. Alright. So that was a long exploration into the sevens. There are 7 people in the room. Awesome. Thank you guys for learning with me. It wasn't so lonely. It's never really lonely. It's just nice to see the other perspectives, and it opens my mind up to more. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you can go and do your daily pulls for a week and just look at what comes up, and really don't look at the guidebook first immediately. Look at just the images and just talk to them. Ask them, what are you doing? and allow them to speak to you. Because now, looking at these, tell me you don't feel like you have history with them now. Especially if you were here from the beginning with the chariot and his stuck self. Yeah, I didn't really see movement in that card, you guys. But maybe he's preparing. You know, the moment before the movement. Because we don't know what's going to happen next. But again, I mean, that's all these pictures, right? The After Tarot is a boss deck. It's so cool. Such a brilliant idea. Love it. I'm glad you loved it. You know, I really appreciate that you guys stuck around. Thank you for the likes. I thought I'd be on here by myself, talking to myself, like usual. At night, 2 a.m., just looking at the cards, being like, what do you want to tell me? Why would you tell me that story? Oh, you changed all of a sudden. Because they do that. Anyway. I have a speaking engagement tomorrow that I have to get prepared for. I have to do my hair or something. I don't know what I'm going to do for my hair, but I have to look good. I have to do laundry too. So, on that note, you guys, thank you for those likes, and I appreciate you watching. If you're watching this in the replay, the whole thing, you're a true blue, man. That's awesome. For everybody that's here, I appreciate you guys so much. So much. This was so nice. I feel much better. I was in a mood. Before doing this. So, thank you for helping lift that for me. Why don't I secretly do a reading for us who are still in the room? You're one of my favorite readers. Shut up, really? What? That's crazy. Thank you for the likes, you guys. I appreciate that. Because I know you don't have to do it, but you do, and I thank you. Thanks for this. Thank you for hanging out. I know people are interested. I just don't know how interested they are. You can shave your hair. Ooh, girl. I could, but it's taken me so long to grow my hair. I'm so attached. I love my hair. I probably still love it even shaved, but yes, your vibes never fail to lift my spirits when I need it. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy to hear that. Thank you for allowing me to do that for you. Let me do a reading for you guys all. All of us. Oh, just tuning in a little bit ago. Everyone's energies have been crazy. Thank you for this. I'm still newer to tarot and love your reading style. Def gonna replay later. Oh, Charlotte, thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. You guys have no idea. When I started reading, I was like, oh, it's gonna be just like everybody else's channel. And then my hands started doing things, and I was like, what the bleep? And then I just started reading, and I was like, what? That was very different. I don't know how this is gonna sit. I don't know if that was even the right thing, because you're talking to no one but everyone, you know? But a lot of my older readings, people are looking at them, and they're like, that's what I needed to hear. And I'm just like, that was from 2 months ago. What? So it's crazy how, like, spirit, God, my highest self is just like, look, just do it now, and it'll do what it needs to do. I'll do the rest. So I like that. I'm really surprised that that's how I read, because I'm always like, I'm just gonna shuffle the cards beforehand, and then my cards are like, no, you ain't gonna do that to me. So I appreciate that. I'm not in control. Help me. No. Yells, girl. You actually inspire me, seriously. Oh my gosh, you're gonna make me cry. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. May we please get a reading or some guidance for us? all in this room, please. All of us here, something that we need to know. All of us. Time for a nap. It's time to leave. Ah! I didn't even see that. That's funny. This is really funny. Exchanging gifts talks about sometimes it means like, yeah, you have a gift, but you still have more to learn. You still have more to learn before you can really, like, you know, do, like, you can do something, but it's not gonna, I really liked how Colette said it. Like, it's, you still have a lot more to learn, basically, before you can fully kind of get into this. I think that's actually new life that I'm picking up on. But yeah, this is really, I was thinking with these two cards as I was shuffling. Anyway, and they're like not even equal. And then time for a nap is baby. I'm sure everybody here is watching from the US and it is late AF. It is 10:10 p.m. for me right now. Alright, so let me hurry this along. As if I have control. Oh, I get embarrassed. I'm like, we're gonna do this. And then the cards are like, no, not really. Alright, I love how you are so different from other tarot readers. Oh, thank you. How you have this comedy when reading cards, too. That's just because my relationship with God is just comedic. He's like, oh, you're looking for a soulmate? You're looking for the one? I'm like, yeah, I am. And then he goes, oh, alright. Sorry guys, I have to shuffle. And I'm trying to entertain you while I shuffle, because I know this can be really annoying. And then he's like, alright. And I'm like, yeah, Lord, can you just make him be, like, ready? I don't want to build nobody up. I just want him to be, like, good. And he's like, oh, yeah? That's what you want? And then he sends me someone halfway across the world who's completely different from me. But we get on so well. And then he's like, now I'm gonna snatch him. Deal with it. What? Why did you do that? Hey, Kendall. Psychic. Oh, I'm not a psychic. I'd like to say if I'm gonna give myself a label, I'd say intuitive. And even that, I'm shy with labeling myself. Because there's so many people that, like, do this so well. And I'm just over here telling a good story. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say it like that. That's how people be leaving. Hey, what kind of gift do you have, Kendall? So this is a reading for all of us in here. Ugh. God damn it. My God, you're an empath. That's awesome. Yeah, someone said I was like a global empath once, and I was like, what is that? Milk and honey in protection. Breathe in protection. Happy in protection. And soulmates wanting to be in protection. But then also, I know, speaking of soulmates, but then this is in this way. Okay, this talks about making things lighter, and this typically, I was thinking about this today, it comes out when people are going through some stuff. It comes out when people are going through some stuff, and it's just kind of like, to me, how I read it is God being like, look, I know things are shit, but you gotta laugh to keep from crying. Sometimes you do gotta cry, but sometimes you gotta laugh to keep from crying, and right now is a good moment to laugh to keep from crying. As it relates to maybe some sort of soulmate, romantic relationship. And breathe, this talks about, it says, this card is so confusing. It just really reiterates on breathing and being, like, apathetic or lazy isn't exactly the thing. It's more so like, do something useful. Do something useful with your waiting time, or as you're waiting for whatever it is that you're wanting, do something useful with it. And in addition to doing something useful, just try to find the joy in what you're doing and whatever is around you. Try to be lighthearted about the situation. And then milk and honey in reverse talks about, it's like, why am I seeing all that glitters? It's kind of like, what is your Oh, it's 51. It says a nameless unease compels you to turn to pleasure and comfort as a means to escape what's really going on. It works in the moment, but only fleeting. Before the feelings return and you need to re-up until you're exhausted, feeling worse than before. You may continue to struggle, or you may see the light and choose to surrender to spirit. Now is a time for practicing extreme self-care, which is reflected here. If you can, do so before you engage in behaviors you'll regret later. You're so loved, so cared for. Turn your troubles over to the divine for healing. This to me is kind of like overindulging or indulging in things that aren't really helpful for you to get over whatever's going on soulmate wise. Soulmate wise, that card says the same thing in the upright as in the reverse. In the upright, it kind of says like, yay. I mean, not really yay. It really says the same thing. Some people come into your life. You know what? I'm gonna do another reading for you because I'm pretty sure this is from me. Because I was talking about my twin, and God was like, look, you didn't tell them that I brought him into your life for a reason. So I'm sorry. He wanted to correct me on that. He's like, look, honey, you know why he came into your life. Anyway, for anybody who this message might be for, this is about turning to other things to kind of satiate your desire. This is running from the truth. I'm like, what truth exactly? I'll be like, what you trying to say? And that's where tarot comes in. It's really helpful for that. Like, it's when I get to doing tarot for you guys with the oracle cards, you guys are gonna be blown. I was blown. Maybe some people are doing it already, but like loose Lumiere style, it's sick. Like, I can't wait, but I can because it's a lot, so I will. um it's about overindulging. Maybe you're sad because old dude didn't reach out to you, or your person didn't something, it's things aren't going right, so you turn to things like food, you turn to things like drink, you turn to things like vices to momentarily satiate you, which is came up in the weekend reading. And breathe, right? Like, it's basically reiterating this, moving on this message, being like, okay, those things are not that good also, but also is being kind of just moping around is also not the best thing. Just really do something. For instance, I always like to say like painting or whatever is like something to take your mind off that, but also you're doing something constructively like breathing. And then happy is like, and while you're at it, look, I know shit isn't all right, but there's always something, either if it's laughing at your own situation, which I do all the time, as you guys can tell, it's finding that little bits of humor, because God's a funny dude. I mean, have you seen some of the animals walking this planet? Like this one, for instance, cute, but also like, how do you exist? There's this line in the movie Dogma. I'm gonna read it again for you guys because I'm pretty sure God was trying to like school me on that one. I don't think that was for everybody. If it was, then cool. I'll still do another one. In the movie Dogma, which is such a great kick-ass movie, Alan Rickman says this about humans. He plays an angel, and he's like, "You humans are so funny. Have you seen how you make love? Like, you're just." That's my foot. Whoops. I try to hide the behind the scenes, but I can't. Alright, I'm gonna read for everybody. Thanks God for that. I appreciate you. Okay. I see visions and hear visions. It scares the shit out of me sometimes. Yeah, I see spirits. Yeah. I ask them not to come to me. I'm like, no. Only in meditation if I'm open to it and I have my spirit animal next to me, because then I'm like, I'm alright with that. I pulled a card. Oh yeah, truth. I can't find what a global empath is. I don't know either, but I don't know. It's probably just an empath, but like, I don't know, girl. I have no idea. I'm an intuitive empath. Yes, I believe that. Yeah, I bet you are. Whew. Woosah. I'm assuming tapping into the energies of the planet and the people. I think so too. When I looked it up, I was like, I guess that's what it is. Do I? And then I think it's becoming more and more something that I'm like, I could vibe with that. I'm learning new things. Can you do a reading for me? I love your laugh. Hey, Kendall. I'm not doing readings for anybody. I'm actually not supposed to be doing readings for anybody right now. Could readings come from songs? I do private readings though, if that's what you're asking. Can messages come from songs? Yes, because sometimes I'll be talking about something and I feel like what I just needed to hear would be lyrics. Yes, absolutely. Jade, that's my life. That's literally my life. I'll be thinking about, oh, what is he thinking? And then a song will start playing in my head and I'll be like, oh, okay. I guess that's what he is thinking. That's how a lot of I made a decision based on a song for a job. So that was pretty big. Okay, let me put this deck away because she's trying to come for me. No, she wants to speak. All right, can we have a reading for everybody, please? Not like me, but everybody who's watching. Something they need to know. Okay. All right. I feel like everybody here is thinking about love. And the song I'm wishing from Snow White is playing. So you guys are thinking about love, and I understand that. And I'm dreaming of the nice things. Thank you for liking my laugh. I don't know why it kind of becomes something sinister when I'm laughing with you guys, but did this come out wonky the other time? I'm not. I can't commit. I'm just too free spirited. That's a really good point to bring up because does love mean commitment? Does having relationship mean having commitment? Are the two synonymous? Can you have love without commitment? Can you have commitment without love? So, anyway, the cards that came out for you guys are, I'm still learning this deck, but it has been officially introduced to the channel, is 40, wow, the Observer, Deep Knowing in Protection, Soulmates, and Chaos and Conflict. I think this is still kind of reiterating the message from before, which says it can be hard for us to take a more observer position in our romantic life. It's hard for us through the uncertainty of it, through the trials, the tribulations, the doubts, the wonders, the past, the baggage, the just the shit, the fuckery of our love lives and how we relate to love and what we think about love and what we have experienced before, have not experienced before, what we want to experience. It can be just a lot. And it can be hard for us to be an observer and to take a step back and just look at it and be open in a way where you're not negating the fuckery, because there is truth and light in the fuckery. Sorry. It's just, there's a way to be able to acknowledge the fuckery, but also take a step back in order for something new to come through, in order for something real to come. But actually, besides that, in order for us to really follow our intuition, because when we are in the midst of fuckery, it's this cloud and you don't know where up is, where down is, where sideways is, where up, where you don't know anything. And our inner knowing is in overload. This card in this position is where it says like you're an empathic overload and you need to stop right now. And that's not really conducive to bringing in the type of love that we're looking for. Whatever that looks like. Yeah. This says you are in empathic overload and need to get grounded again. So tune out for a bit. This is, I mean, chaos and conflict B. Come on. Um, hypersensitive. You're suffering from psychic exhaustion. This could be for me, shit. I don't know. This signals a time for a recharging of your batteries. Set energetic boundaries. Take a salt bath. Empty your mind. Get back to you. If this isn't about romance, this is about the important relationships in our lives where we do get entangled in them. Soulmates doesn't necessarily always mean romantic relationships, especially with this card. Excuse me. It means more just the people who come into our lives to impact it. This could be friends, this could be bosses, this could be even family members at times. And sometimes we do get a little bit stuck in this chaos and in the chaos of it all. Um and it can be hard for us to really follow our intuition and really listen to our intuition or even know what of the voices everywhere around us are our intuition to in order for us to have more harmonious um, relationships in our lives with others and even with ourselves because things are just too loud. So that could be another a message essentially for people to who um, are helping are bleh, are focusing quite a lot on others and their monkeys and their zoos. That card didn't come out, but there's that. It's not saying don't do. It's not saying don't wish, don't hope, don't want. It's just sometimes it's it's necessary often to take a step back. So, before I continue, let me look at the messages. I actually am always observing. A message for myself. That's awesome. That's really awesome. Being an observer is cool, but don't forget to participate. I'm sure you know that. You're straight. Accurate. Trying to figure that out. It's so hard to find that balance. I'm either so objective and no feeling or too feeling. Yeah, like trying to find the balance between being an observer and then also actually participating in life because life is happening right now. Okay, I'm so glad you said that. Because this is alone being observed and then like he's observing, removed from everything. Even the desert, just removed from everything and here is relationship. So like it's like yes be observed but be an observer but then also be involved. It's just in amidst all of this whether the chaos and conflict is in our minds or whether it's with other people finding balance again whatever that means to you and just really taking time for your own empathic overload. I suppose that's right. I've been struggling lately helping people by healing them with tarot has healing them with tarot has helped. mm, exactly, especially if you're kind of really flexing those muscles in whatever way. As a coach, as a speaker, I flex those muscles, and I didn't know I was flexing those muscles until it hit me. I was like, oh, I am okay. Yeah, that's how my intuition has been like really working. Feeling this message, I'm glad. Same. It's been helping giving readings to others, just practicing. I bet it has. It is really kind of nice. Um, how? Okay, let me see if I can read the observed message so everybody can have something to perspective, objectivity, neutral observation from a distance. Most people see the world through a personal lens. They closely identify with their feelings and experiences, so much so that they come to believe that these are the only reality. There are times when you need distance in order to gain perspective and understand your circumstances from a more neutral vantage point. Now is one of those times in your life. This is a perfect moment for you to begin to do some exploring. Instead of only considering yourself, consider what you need to understand about the conditions, people, culture, and environment you're engaged in. With now, you'll be so happy you did. Illumination is the miracle you seek and will indeed find. I'm also seeing that there's something else here. Something about being too alone. Yeah, there's something. I don't need that. Because I really like the message behind chaos and conflict. I get that card a lot when I'm asking about romance. That's why I said this is about romance, not just because of the soulmates card. Also, I've been daydreaming lately, and it's made me a bit detached. Yeah, that's what I'm getting from the detachment. That could be some sort of empathic overload shutdown. I didn't even see your messages. Just reading that, I was like, but is that... Because that is alone, and that's togetherness. So there's... I feel like there is a deeper message here. I just don't really know if I really want to go into it, to be completely honest with you guys. I used to live in detachment to escape for a long time because I felt too much. So I finally trying to figure out that balance. Yeah. Yeah. I'm seeing this could be about either in with others or even with yourself, but either way, this is something that... So what's the guidance then? I mean, I guess for some it's be with... it's still... This... What is you saying? Yeah. This little blurb one is, I also can't keep friendships. I don't like feeling tied down. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, Kendall. That's really cool. That's really interesting. That's really interesting. That's really, really interesting. I have trust issues too. Do you have a lot of Sag in your chart? Are you talking to Kendall? I only know that I have Sag in Venus. Yes. Disarray, being at cross purposes with another, the tension of opposites, the value of chaos before order. So it feels like for some things are shifting from being alone to being with others. And during that, there's a bit of like empathic overload. You're Pisces? Cool. Pick one more card. Just ask for advice. Yeah, I'm doing that, girl. I'm picking a couple more cards. I can't this jingle jangle. I can't. I can't. Can you what? What advice do you have? Oh god. This got deeper than I than I intended it to be. Alright, it is safe for you to love in reverse. Family issues, healing them. And make the effort. Mm. Which makes sense. Alright, what makes sense? It is safe for you to love in the reverse. Makes sense here. And make the effort also makes sense. And healing family issues in reverse also makes sense. And they all happen to fall on being an observer, not feeling safe to love, making the effort in terms of this, I think. And family issues in terms of relationship. Over and over again. Yeah, that's one of those cards that personally is a bit of a hard one to read because I don't know people's lives. I can only assume if you're a woman, check your dad. If you're a man, check your mom. If it's to do with relationship, check how your parents relate to one another, and check how your mother relates to your father, your father relates to your mother. That's what I'm personally looking at right now. And seeing how that ties into how you do relationship as in romantic, but then also see how that tunes into how you do relationship in platonic ways, sure, but also just where you got the ideas that you have about relationship. What does that mean to you, and how does that relationship, looking at those two and how they interact, or whomever raised you, those male female roles or whatever that looks like for you, how that fits into where you're at romantically now, and what you think you can have or what you think you can't have, or what you've had or what you don't want, whatever. And kind of like some real core stories and issues. This is about transitioning. So I get this card so fucking much, but I always have family issues. That fox is observing and sitting on that egg with back turned away from other cards. Come through, Gloria. You better intuit the hell out of this, honey. Kendall, do you have issues with your oldest sibling in particular, or are you the eldest? Hey, Jade. Yes. She is awful to me. Oh no. So I really like Jade's observation of the fact that this fox is turning away from everybody else. And there's this it's not safe to love where the horse is also riding in this direction, and the healing family issues are looking at, well, this man is looking this way at this little boy. Spirit being nosy. Your sister rides horses. Kendall, I think you hijacked this reading. Aw. Let it out, girl. You're fine, boo. Let it out. there's transition going on here. Because this card in the protection has a different message from the upright. In the upright, it's either way. In both of them, it says there's a lot. There's quite a bit going on in this being with the deep knowing here. Feels like this. So the deep knowing is being covered by all this debris that's happening. And sure enough, in this picture, I hate this filter. Excuse me, you guys. Let me just take this little bit off. This donkey. What is this? A zebra is shedding its false skin. It's been trying to be something else. It's just, that's a lot. That's an overload. Because, yay, it's becoming a zebra as we know it. If we're spirit, we know that this is really a zebra, and it's becoming into a zebra, showing its true stripes. It's just, this has to be emotionally, physically, mentally, painful in some way, because sure enough, you're shedding what's not yours, but you're still shedding, and that's a hard space to be in. That's a very tricky space to be in. In that kind of space, then how you used to do relationship, or how you never used to do relationship, is now being challenged, because now you have to do relationship with this new skin that's actually your original skin. And so in that transitional space, their intuition, the deep knowing, the inner knowing, the true self, is having a hard time moving, because it's covered. It's not, there's stuff there. It's hard to make the effort. It's hard to take the steps you're guided to take, because which steps are they? Are they the steps of the giraffebra? Code for giraffe zebra? Or is it the steps that the zebra is being guided to take? So it's confused. Donkbra. Donkey. It's a zebra. It's difficult to come to a place where, you know, it's like when the heart to heart card shows up. It's like when someone is not able to speak. From which heart are they really gonna speak from? They can't. How? Advice for this situation, please. Are you serious? Yeah, I mean, we said this before, balance, but what does balance mean to you? That's a good question to ask all of us. As we balance our empathicness, our being with otherness, and being aloneness. I did a reading today, some month. What month was it? I don't remember what zodiac sign it was, but there was a call to have a certain kind of balance between. It wasn't a call. It was about solitude, going within, and also going out. They were gonna be doing that at the same time. Who was that? Was that Leo? I think it was a Leo. Anyway, this is nice as far as advice. It's talking about balancing the treasure you're protecting, which is yourself, your true self, your little self on the inside, with the changes going on around you, because I didn't show you balancing act in the upright, protecting treasure in the upright, and unexpected visitors in the upright. So this is actually quite nice. This is really nice. In this, because while there is that chaos, that storm. Did I mention this? This to me is the storm card in this deck. So, while this storm is fucking shit up here, it's fucking shit up for a purpose, right? It's fucking shit up so this can be, you know, upright, so that you can actually move from your true self, from your true little inner child. So you move from this, your true self. It's just the storm is there for a good purpose. Obviously, it's the chaos is helping remove these bits that are no longer serving you. And as you're moving forward, something unexpected will come to help. This feels like help to me. Someone will help move this process, which tells me you're not alone in moving through this shit. And another thing is how every time I see healing family issues, I always think of helping. I don't know why. I read the word wrongly because it always comes up in reverse, and I'm like, ugh. But soulmates, when it talks about soulmates, it talks about people who come into your life to help you. And I was saying earlier, if you remember, that when it's in this position, it's people come to help you, that a lot, it's more like good, but then not really, kind of, but yes. But in this position, it's like, yeah, people come to help you, and they kind of like fuck things up a little bit, but anyway, in this position, it does feel like help. It feels like help. You don't have to do this process alone. You're not alone. You're definitely not alone. Your guidance system, your inner knowing is helping you move through, even when you don't know what it is necessarily, moving by inspired action, moving to a place where that feels right, and not even feels right, it's in these types of cases where you all of a sudden stumble into something that becomes worthwhile, simply because you went to get some ice cream and you met someone, or you saw a billboard, you called the number, the dominoes go into effect. It's what was I saying? What was I saying? Shit. Ah, fuck. I'm so sorry. I forgot. Oh shit. Sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't know where I went. But yeah. So it does feel like help is coming. Help is there. Ah, intuition. Moving card. Thank you. Okay. Even when you don't know purpose, like yourself consciously, which voice is your intuition and which voice is your dunk, bruh. You almost don't have to worry too much about it if you follow the signs you're guided to take, which is, you feel like ice cream today, you go and you follow that inspired action to move through, to move to get you to where you want to be. You told me this in December, fuck January, that I'd be doing this right now. I would have been like, okay, crazy, and yet here I am, talking to God, talking to you. That's very, still rocks me, to be honest. So it's one of those things where I would never have planned to get here. I would never have known that my twin flame would have triggered me in that way in order to get me to this point. Now, shit was already happening, but God was like, we need to speed things up. Bam! Let me set off that time bomb I put in your life a year ago. You laughed to keep from crying. Anyway, I hope you guys know what I'm saying comes from a place of love. It comes from a place of like, I've been there, I know what you're feeling, and I can laugh at it because it's over, and it will be over for you too. So we can kind of laugh at our ticking time bombs, right? Sometimes I can, but I know in many, many cases you can't. It's hard, and I take that to heart. So when I'm laughing, I'm not laughing at you guys. Hey, organic spiritual tech, how you doing, boo? The Tamer of Lions. Anyway, as you're going through this process, you're not alone. Your intuition will guide you. You just won't, it won't be like a voice from the heavens, but it'll just kind of be like, here. Like, just nudging you, like, you want ice cream. You know? it'll move in those ways as you're moving to deal with this. That's what this is for. It's just as you're doing that, I think the message is to definitely take a step back and be gentle with yourself, and also explore where your ideas about yourself and your desires come from. Where do they really come from? Are they really yours, or did you adopt them? So when it comes to, I don't want, love means commitment, commitment means something bad. Where did you learn that commitment means something bad? That's just an example. I hope you don't mind me using that. For me, it's balance. Something I've really been thinking about lately is, what does balance mean to me? What does balance look like to me? So when you go into all of these things in your life, just consider their definitions and really become friends with them and see, okay, what does this mean to me? And also consider, like, what does following your intuition mean? Like, what does it look like to you? It's not always gonna be a voice from the heavens. Like, yeah, I've been meditating and heard like a trigger word to get me down to certain path, and I'm like, oh shit. But something unexpected is gonna happen. You're not gonna expect it. And it's going to help through this process. You're not alone. But this phase right now is for you to really shake things up. Is shaking you up. It's just the shake up is also throwing off your intuition for yourself. But it is working. It's still there. It's just take a look at where your ideas of self come from, and those relationships, and see if you're acting from an old wound. All of us, because that's something I've been dealing with in my personal life, wondering, okay, why do I do these things? Like, what am I so afraid of? Or why, whatever. So I'm gonna read your comments now because I was busy. I guess it's asking us to tune out a little so things can calm down. Just let time heal. Honestly, if that is the step that you're guided to take, absolutely. For some, it's looking like tuning out has been not right. But it's also kind of like, what does tuning out mean, you know? Tuning out to me could be hanging out with my friend and spending time with her. Tuning out to me on a different day could mean taking myself out to the movies and watching Ocean's 8, which was awesome, by the way. So I really like that, Alwina. I really like that. Just let time heal. Yeah, I like that. A beautiful message. I'm glad it touched you, Gloria. My mom favors my sister. She thinks I'm more independent than I am. Yeah, I can see that. Independent, maybe trying to prove that you can do it, but then you really can't because you're trying to win someone's affection. I'm not, well, that's, it's a funny way how we act. It's really, human behavior is so interesting. That reminds me, I'd love to hear you talk about how you connect with your guides one day. I'm so curious. I'd love to hear how I connect with my guides. They left me. He just left. I meditate. I go into present moment. No, I go into, well, either present moment or I go into no thought. If I'm meditating, say with a crystal, I will see myself in God's throne room, showing him this rock and saying, please help it help me. And I feel very exposed saying that. I wish God's messages would be more straightforward. You and me both, because I feel like I'm so oblivious to signs. Girl, you and me both. I'll be doing a reading and be like, what are you talking about? But my spiritual mentor, she told me something. She said, Luce, you get a lot of messages at once, which makes sense, especially with how my intuition has been going. And she said it at just the right time, too, because that's when my intuition was, like, fucking me up. What do I mean? A card would fall on the ground like that. Sorry, that feels so wrong. Like that. It's clear. This is in this position. I will touch it and flip it over, but it feels reverse. So, it came out like this, but it feels reverse. Or it came out like this, but it feels like I put this like this and it didn't work. But it feels like this. So how the fuck am I supposed to get the message from that? Because the reading, the guidance from many cards, like for instance, make the effort, and this is a different message for me often. For this one, it's the same. Except this is like you're really not really trying to heal your family issues. This is still something that needs to be done. It's safe for you, love. This is one of those where it's like yes or no. It's straightforward. You have to know whether the message is this or this. And it was messing me up. Absolutely messing me up. And I was like, what the heck is going on? I did a reading on it and I don't remember. I think the message that came to me was like, you're growing, like you're spiritual, like you're evolving. Your intuition is going to the next level. I had done some exercise and that triggered some stuff for me. So I was like, oh, I see what's happening. An intuitive exercise. So that started showing up in how I read the cards. Very feely. So when I read for myself, that's probably why I've been absent, but not really. When I read for myself, I have to do certain things in order to see what the message really is. So when I'm reading for you all, as you'll see on the channel, it adds a layer. It's really beautiful. It's scary because it's this shit, but it's like the next level, super next level, because then it allows me to say there are two things happening here for you, two different situations, or it's the same situation, just this is what it is. Because in life, it's the same thing. As human beings, nothing is as straightforward. Like you say, Jade, I wish this messages are more straightforward. Human beings aren't freaking straightforward. You can love someone and have feelings for them, but not call them. You can want desperately someone to reach out to you, and when they do, you freak the fuck out and don't talk to them. That's confusing. What? That's confusing. That's freaking confusing. People are so complicated. Very complex creatures we are. So the fact that my intuition is now was more settled now in terms of like I know what's happening and I know what to do to go along with the story that I'm being told. It's nice because now the readings become a little bit more they become richer because I can say this is what's happening here. And if you watch, I think it is the Leo reading, it made a lot of sense with the rest of the messages, and there was that card needed to, it was one of these, not this particularly. It was like a card where like it's either yes or no. It was either solitude or with people. What is the message? And it was both. It's just in what way. So it's not always straightforward, girl. Don't feel mad. I'll get the signs and I'm probably just ignoring them and have no idea. I hear you. My cards yell at me all the time, as you saw. As you saw before this reading, it was like soulmate there. Protection, protection, protection. I'm just like, alright, you're gonna yell at me in front of everyone right now? You're embarrassing me. Anyway. And then, alright. Trying to get better at that. You will. Savage Witch. Hey, boo. When did you discover you had your gift? When I posted a video to YouTube and people were like, that's my story. Honestly, I'm still discovering it. I'm really still discovering it. But I think it's because I haven't really acknowledged it. I had a session with my highest self once. I sound so wild. Wow, I can't believe this. I'm sharing this. When I asked my highest self, I was like, I should probably know what you look like. And then I saw what he, it's a dude I guess, looks like. And I was like, that's really funny. How could my imagination come up with all that? That's wild. Oh well. So we're hanging out. 2 weeks later, I Googled. I was like, what? Is this a thing that really exists? So I Googled this, like, a descriptor of him a little bit. And Google came up with, like, images and, like, you know, it was a real thing. And I was really astounded by the information surrounding what I had seen. As what my highest self was, and I rejected that. I was like, no, that's too good. Like, I am not that great. My spirit, my soul cannot be that great. Like, that's, I can't. No, maybe that's just a guide. No, maybe it's not my highest self. It's a guide. Nah, B, that was my highest self. And me rejecting that, I'm pretty sure that um that's why he was like, "You're not ready for me." And I was like, wow. I mean, he wasn't like that. It was just, it's difficult for me to explain, you guys. It's all feelings. It's really hard to explain. So I'm still discovering that I have a gift in my work. I'm able to serve my coaching clients in the way that I do just by doing it. But I pray before every session with my coaching clients. I say, Lord, please help me guide them to where they need to be, like, for your highest purposes. And my clients have really good results for what they wanted. And I'm able to ask them questions that they needed to hear to get them to the next stage. You can get guidance all day, every day. Guidance can say, just like this reading, be an observer. You're going through some shit. You're going to be all right. You're going to find communion in some way. Cool. What do I do between now and then? How do I get from where I am feeling shit to where I want to be? Your guidance can say where you want to be all day, every day, where you're going all day, every day. You still have to fucking get there. There's still Monday, Tuesday, Saturday, Wednesday morning. Like, you still have to get there. So as a coach, like, that's what I do. Except that's what I was doing before doing all of this. I didn't know this was a thing you could do. I mean, I did, but I didn't think I was like, I had access to that. I thought it was only for like psychics and like really cool people like that. And I was just me. So anyway, with my clients, just my intuition, my highest self was speaking to their spirit, their soul. And I always say, like, I work for what's inside of you. I work for your light, not you. So I don't, I don't work for you. I work for what's inside of you. And I try to pull it out as be a guiding light to that. So anyway, I'm rambling. Sorry. So I'm still discovering that I have a gift when it comes to reading. Every time someone's like, that was scary accurate, and I was like, that is scary. That is really scary. That's awesome. Someone just recently posted, they're like, I even the what made him fall for you, or how he fell for you or something. They posted, they're like, my husband watched this and he was like, that's scary accurate. And I'm like, shit, that's a big deal. That person, I like, said it. You know what I'm saying? Like, she watched it for her husband, why he fell for her. And then she showed it to him and he was like, shit, like, that's real. So it's wild. I'm still discovering my gift. Savage. I haven't acknowledged it fully. I haven't stepped into that power yet, is what I'm trying to say with that story about my highest self being this magnificent being and me being like, nah, that's not for me, bruh. I can't be that great. So some self-worth there. So when I say these things, I'm not saying them to be preachy. I'm saying them because, like, I get it. I'm there in many ways. I just have the tools to navigate. The rock amplifies your energy field. Yeah, my rose was super clingy, but I really was like love seeking at that point. It was being like, look, we got you. I see purple and black when I meditate. What does that mean? That's awesome. Ask it. Every time I see things in in um my meditations, I talk to them. Especially when I was doing a lot of my shadow work, when I was sad and gaining weight from eating so much because of sadness. I talked about this in the weekend. Read it, you guys. But yeah, I talked to my sadness. I talked to I either feel it on my body and I tune into that area and really go into that space of where I'm feeling my sadness, or I will see my sadness. My sadness looks like a water droplet that's kind of, I can't describe it, but it's always hiding behind something. Anyway, just a few crazy things I be doing. So beautiful. I completely relate to your process. That's wonderful. I'm glad you do. Purple was protection. Black? I'm in space in my mind. I don't know why when I meditate, I'm always in space, and space scares the crap out of me. I haven't been drawn to reading reversals in my readings yet. I go back and forth. Yeah. I am very astounded and impressed that people can get accurate messages from just reading the upright positions. That would throw me for a whole damn loop. But there have been readings where, like the weekend read for the heart space, because I did a heart, mind, soul weekend read at Lumiere. You know how they like to mess me up. my highest self just be being like, look, you gonna do it this way. And I'm like, but that's not how people are used to doing it. And he's like, you're gonna suck it up. Anyway, the spirit of place was here in the heart read, and it was giving me a very different reading from what it typically gives me. So that was really interesting. I'm really into reversals. I like making things hard for myself. I feel like, yeah, I don't know why. That's why I don't use reverse, because it stops my intuition. Really? Okay. Okay. That's really, really cool. For me, I'd like to think it enhances. Like, I don't think I can't do reversals. Because someone asked earlier why, like, what they need to do to choose a deck. Carrie, if you're watching this in the replay, hey boo, hey. Um, I chose this. I like decks that have reversals on purpose. That's like a must for me. I can't read for myself. Just doesn't feel right. Oh, that's really interesting. I'm finding that if you guys who read, what's your favorite cards? What are your favorite cards? And what are your least favorite cards? In the Romance Angels, my favorite card was Deception. What does that tell you about me? I thought the man in Deception was so cute. He's so fine. He's got that long neck. Can I find it? Got that long neck. He just sounds like a certain person. With beautiful neck, beautiful hands, gentle but wearing a damn mask. Where the fuck is Deception, bro? Can't find it when you need it. And then the card in tarot that I really like is the Four of Cups in the After Tarot, where he kind of goes, fuck your cup. And I'm like, yes. I love it. Which is how I am right now in romance, which is very surprising because I do want that cup, but I'm saying fuck that cup. And then the Star card is where I am in my spiritual journey right now. And Judgment card is the card that really scares the most out of me. I can't actually look at it. It chills me to my bone. My whole being is like, no. Because there's a part of me that's heavily afraid of being what that card means to me. So look at your cards and see. So if you can't read for yourself, maybe I am getting to a point where I feel like I can't read for myself because it's too much stimuli. Because like my spiritual mentor said, she's like, Lucy, you get too much stimuli. Like you get all of the story. So if I'm getting all of the story, and especially with my readings being so more predictive than like tell me what's going on now, it's fucking messy. So I get that. But then there's also a part of me that's being like, look, you don't want to get to know you right now. That's what happens when I'm not meditating. It's because I'm afraid to go in. I do that. I freak out. Being the runner taught me a lot. Yeah. Uh-huh. I totally get that. It's so hard to read for myself because I'm biased. Yeah, I know what you mean. But then the cards, they keep coming out. They're like, no. 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 It's hard to ignore that message. Then you're like, maybe this is just for today. And it's like, no, you keep getting it. I keep getting this card a lot. It's so hard to. Oh, I love reading for others. I get so tapped in. That's awesome. It is a journey, Savage Witch. You're my wish fulfillment, just so you know. Well, will you call me your star? I don't know what wish fulfillment means anymore sometimes. Beautiful hearing your story. Thank you for listening. I appreciate it. Or journey. I know. I am afraid of my next level in all of the ways. I'm just trying to take it slow, to be honest with you. This is all of us in some way. I promise you. It's all of us in some way. Do you have psychic dreams? I have card dreams. Like, I have dreams of giving you guys readings. So I'll wake up and like 6 of Cups. No, reversal. kind of dreams I have. As far as psychic dreams, no. I do have deja vu sometimes, but not really. Yeah, but Luz, I really want to buy another reading from you because I just love them. But I feel so bad because you just did one for me not so long ago. Oh, god damn it. Oh, thank you so much, Jade. I'm not saying god damn it to you. I'm saying, like, I'm so fucking touched. Oh, damn it. I don't need to cry right now. Thank you. Is this thing still on? Apparently my internet is gone. Let me know, Jade, if you're still listening, because I know I'm, like, talking up a storm. If you're still listening, let me know, and, thank you for the lights, you guys, by the way. Like, I really appreciate that. You guys don't even have to be here. So thank you. I know it's really late. It's like 11 p.m. for me, so it's like 1 a.m. for some of you. Let me know, Jade. Let me know what's going on for you. If anybody's emailed me, by the way, I haven't responded yet because I have a speaking engagement tomorrow and the rest of this month is going to be busy as fuck. But email me anyway so that at least you're in, what is it, escrow? Email me, Jade. Let's see what's good. Let's see what's going on. Without a challenge, we don't grow. I love reversals. This is true. When I'm tired, you guys, when I'm tired, and I have to do my daily poll, I'm almost like, please just give me a reversal so I can read the little thing and, like, keep it moving, because I'm tired. You like sneaky boys, kinky. I liked a sneaky boy. Here he is. Cut. Look, you guys. He's so cute. That long neck. Just delicate. Beautiful, man. Anyway, it's kind of lessening to be my favorite now. I don't know which one my favorite is anymore. 5 minutes before I decided to hop on here, I thought I needed to check out tarot lessons in top of every backstory you give, being stuff I've just been through. All of your most insane readings are my life. Oh no, I'm sorry. And you're welcome. The synchronicities are paralyzing me. Aw, babe, breathe. I'm glad that you're here though. Like, isn't that crazy? It's amazing the people that are like mine. My people are are coming. But I know that what I went through with this mess, this stuff, was to get here with you all. So I definitely know that that was the purpose for me. At least a part of the purpose. To you guys, like you, each one of you, Brittany, Gloria, Jade, Kendall, and whoever else I can't see the names of, Charlotte. Like, it's because of you guys that I had to go through this stuff to be able to speak. So I was like, I like to think I'm real, not because I swear. I don't even swear that much in my real life. I don't know why when I'm in the spirit I'm just like cussing up a storm. I think it's because of how I receive the message, but it's real because I've been there. I know what this card means. Like, I know this card intimately, so I feel it. Like, it's just so real. It's it's not big. Like, the readings I try to give have to be real. I will tell you this card is confusing me because that could be a part of my guidance, and I don't want to rob you of, you know, whatever. So it's very yeah, you helped me relate to the romance angels in new ways. I didn't like most of them for a while. I know, right? They're like so people, man. These guys are my baes. They're my baes. Like I'm. Have you noticed I haven't even put them down? I just like holding them. They're my babies. They're my babies. They love me. I love them. But then when I'm doing my own personal reading, they've been dicks to me lately. But then they've been also really good. My faves in tarot are the moon and the high priestess. Secrets. Secluded. Taming the wild and the domestic and the little snapper. You know what happens? You know in my mind what's gonna happen with the moon? That little In the moon, if for those of you that don't know tarot, I don't want to take advantage of the fact that you do. The moon tarot is like there's two pillars, there's the moon, and there's a doggy and a wolfie and like a pool of water with ripples and like a little snapper. What is it, a crab or something? That's like coming out, and there's a path to mountains. In my mind, when I'm playing the just, the basic, what's going on here, what's gonna happen, is a little snapper is gonna bite the dog's tail, like snip at the dog's tail, and then it's gonna cause a commotion. And the wolf is gonna be like, what? And then the sun, oh yeah, the moon is like has its eyes closed. It's gonna open up and look at the dog and like smile. I don't know why. I don't know what that says about the card, but I just wanted to tell you the story. I'm now trying to think of all my favorite cards. Love the moon. Okay, maybe the Pisces energy. I understand that. My person is a Pisces. And I don't necessarily see it as bad like some in High Priestess. Yeah, like that's the thing. Like I don't see so many of them as bad. Just the star annoys me. Two of two of two of swords scares me, and the nine of swords. I was bonding with two of swords. We had a really deep discussion. She, for me, I'm really glad you said that. She, for me, the Two of Swords, is someone who is really strong and resilient. She's disciplined. She is, because she's sitting outside on the stone. She's not thinking about emotion. The water's behind her. There's stones in the water, like mountains in the water, and I should take it out, but I can't be bothered. And oh, fine. Just closed it. I haven't been able to close this box. I'm not gonna do it. And let me. No, I don't want to do that. Okay. No, never mind. It's fine. She has his two swords in front of her. She's holding the swords the right way, in front of her heart, blocking it. Sure, but her mind is alert. Her heart is not receptive. That's what Joel Osteen says. Anybody pick that up? Anyway, her mind is alert. She's not seeing. She's not moving on she is moving on emotion, but in a non, like, she's building her strength. Because to me, to hold two swords in your hand for as long as I see her holding them in my head is a lot. Is strength. She's very resilient. And is she stubborn? Sure. Uh, but she's going hard at it, because she's there until the night falls, and then she does it again every day. I feel like she's jacked. Just mental fortitude. The cards literally yell at me too. I feel that. Yeah, man, Charlotte is not a joke out here. Like, it's real. You guys saw how they yelled at me. they were like, no, bam, bam, bam. And now, not all, I'm not saying protection is yelling, but I'm saying protection is yelling. Just, I deny bad messages. That's not good. Yeah. Um, I get that. It just depends on what a bad message is. Sometimes when when I got contact from the person, I was like, cool. And then I kept seeing the separation card and it kept falling out, and I was like, you know what? That's fine. I know this isn't forever. I know they're gonna disappear again. Very, very, I've been learning from people reading Libra readings. They're like, the Knight of Pentacles is a very slow on and off, in and out again card. And I was like, yeah, that's the one. That's what's going on right now. I feel like nothing really is bad or good, just like suggestions and advice, if that makes sense. Yeah, I get that. There's also, I definitely get both sides for sure. Savage was same. Is it bad that I dreamed the devil card? Girl, I think I had a dream about the devil too. It was really awkward, and I had to ask my cards. I was like, what the fuck was that shit about? I don't remember what they said, but thank God I stopped thinking about it. Ask your card, Savage Witch, what the dream meant, or Google like dream symbols. The devil's on a bad card. Me and Kendall just said the same words. Just noticed. Kind of creepy. We're the same in so many ways. I love the Empress. Gloria, tell me about the Empress. I can never get a read on her. I kind of did this time around, but it's just always surprising. You basically woke up that denial I was having in a particular situation. I'm so glad. Yay! Yes, love it. I like to share. I know it's TMI. I know it's TMI. That's why I unlist a lot of videos because I say too much. But I also feel like I'm not a guru. Like, I like being unprofessional. Someone was like, that was really unprofessional. And I'm like, man, that's my MO. Fuck. Like, I'm gonna be unprofessional. It's not about being professional. It's about, like, your soul and your fucking spirit. That shit's not professional. I think God's professional. No. But I'm not comparing myself to God. I'm just saying, like, being transparent and connecting on a human level, it's nice to know that you can be in some shit and, like, that's where you're at, man. Like, that's where you're at. I don't know. To me, it just makes sense. It just makes sense for me to share about my life because I know I didn't go through that shit for myself. You know? I know it helps other people to hear. It's just drawing the line between giving information about other people, this other person, and our intimacies. Where's my pen? Oh, I lost my pen. Oh, I lost my pen. I'll have to look at the Celion deck. This is me. This is my baby. The Hangman Reverse, the Chariot, the High Priestess, and the Star. Are those the cards you love, or are not? Oh, are those your favorite cards? Let me just tell you, I tried to order the Romance Angela, and they hid for me literally at the store and didn't want to show up for me for days. These cards came lickety split. They were supposed to come. I still haven't told you guys the Meet My Woto deck, but story, how we met. But they came so quickly, it was crazy. And there was so many synchronicities around it too. Colette had a seminar and I had them with me that same day. They arrived a day early. I was like outside about to go shopping and like they came like freaking Christmas. And something about masks, like it's sick. Judgment is also pretty gangsta. Judgment scares me. Thinking of the moon winking at the dog, telling them the underdog always has its day. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. The star represents Aquarius and my sun is an Aqua. Okay. Okay. Oh my god, same Kendall. I love unprofessional real people. Yeah. I'm just unprofessional in the way that like I mean, I don't have to explain it. You guys have seen my readings. It's not like I'm being disrespectful. And when you do get a private reading, if you decide to book, it's not like I'm cussing you out. I'm not. I have a lot more liberties when I'm reading for the masses. It's just, I'm gonna tell you that this feels funky to me, and I don't know what it's saying because I know that that's part of the deal of how I do what I do, and I have to be naked and transparent for this to work. So for some, it's like, you're supposed to know. We come to you for the answers. And I totally get that. That's so valid. That's so valid. But if it's not, I have to say that in order to get to the next step of, oh, okay, this is what it is. And there's confusion here. And then someone messages me back and they're like, that confusion was real. And that's, something that makes sense. I don't know. People who are about this are about this. I feel she's connected to Mother Earth. She is abundant in fertility and creation. That's true. No. I see that about the Empress. Because I've never seen that card up close and personal. It's always like through some computer, and no one really holds it up for you to really take it in like we were doing with those cards. And she to me, it feels like she has her castle somewhere. But it was such a nice day that she let them like put her pillows outside, and she's watching the ladies in the Three of Cups like celebrate and dance for her because it's like harvest time, because there's wheat and there's water flow and there's like trees. So I totally get that for better love readings. Oh, okay, Celion. I'll look it up. Are you gonna upload it so we can rewind? Yes, of course, Sonali. You can watch this 3-hour video. Marie Ceylon. They're limited. You get 2 deck for $8 and change. I bought them. Ooh, $8. Damn. The star is more of you having faith in the truth you seek to create. I so I like that because that's probably part of the reason why she and I don't get along. The star to me is wild. It's like the star to me is like this woman who came home from work and she took her clothes off, went into the shower, took a shower, put her clothes back on, cooked dinner, ate dinner, and then she took her clothes off again, got her 2 jugs that were sitting by the table in a spot that she knows where they're at, and then she went outside and decided to act all crazy and fucking pour water into water and then water on the earth, and like she's just naked, balls out. And I'm just like, I'm mad because as a traveler who followed the fucking North Star, this is not what I was expecting. I was not expecting for the star to be stopping over me watching a damn naked woman pouring water into water. She's mental. She's crazy to me. She makes me, I'm like, can you hear the anger in my voice and the agitation? Like, that's my feelings towards a star when I was bonding with her. To me, it feels like it was not a waste of time, but just kind of like a mind fuck of, oh, the star is supposed to be this thing that's leading me to the promised land, and this is what you led me to? A naked, crazy woman outside pouring water into water. Are you serious? Why? Why? For what reason? Why? So, what does that tell you about me? That's the question I have to ask myself. Why do I feel this way about the star? Because the star journey and that story is me following this light, this bright star in the sky, following the signs, and winding up to be this crazy woman. Like, I am her and I'm not her. I'm looking at her and being like, my observer self is looking at her being like, really? This was my destiny? Pouring fucking water into water? How does that make any sense? Then again, it does, right? Preaching to the choir, and the choir has to be reminded who they are. Water needs to be reminded it's water, because when you pour water into water, it sends ripples. It wakes the water up. It's no longer still water. Still water is stagnant water. Still water is not water being water. So I like that. Actually, that just came to me just now. So that's cool. So that's my personal transparent moment with the star and my anger around it. The star is more of you having faith in the truth you seek to create. Yeah, damn it. This deck was screaming at me in the crystal shop, but I didn't get it. Ooh, I wonder what it was. You can't just go by meanings. What makes you super on point is imagination, which is wild. And this is why I think I'm so afraid that people in the tarot community are gonna be like, that's not what the Four of Cups means. But I'd be like, that's what it feels like. I don't know what to tell you. That's what it feels like. I just know she's me whenever she come up. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I see her guiding knowledge in the Hall of Darkness and Light, my next tattoo after my first. Ooh. What's your first? I know she's not my card, but before I started this journey, I started calling myself the Empress. Okay, girl. Yes. And I feel I'm being spoken to every time. I love that. That's really good. That's awesome. If you can find a card that you connect with. For me, the card I really love is the Fool. I'm very affectionate towards the Fool. He's just living his best life, you know? I use the cards to manifest. That is my style. The signs and significance of experience in the reading. That's awesome. How do you do that? I needed this shit. Thank you all. You're so welcome, Charlotte. I needed this too. I don't know why I was feeling so shit. Oh, I remember why. God damn it. The devil represents Capricorn, which is my sister's sign. I love how every time the death card, I don't know any of the signs for the tarot, and I'm not going to learn them, to be honest. But I love how every time the death card shows up, people are like, you might be dealing with a Scorpio, and I'm like, wow, they really have to. People don't understand the star. She is vulnerable. She pours her emotions back to the earth. The star itself is Orpheus, the North Star, the Three Kings followed. Yeah, I definitely get the star, the following of it. It's just I feel like I really like that you explain that. She pours her emotions back to the earth and back into the pool. I mean, I feel right now like I'm the star pouring water into water. Like, you guys know all this. I feel like, anyway. Um, but again, it wakes up the water, reminds the water of who it is. So, look at that. Look at that. Oh my god, have you seen the After Tarot star card? She's even more crazy. Oh, is she? Is that the one where that. I almost called her that fool. I almost called her that bitch. I'm sorry. She just agitates me. Now we're probably calming down. We're probably gonna be okay. It just takes a while, you know? Like passion. The passion card and I were not friends. Now we get each other. Um, it's just funny because passion is reconciliation. That's so funny. Wow. Anyway, is she like naked in the water pouring it on herself? God damn it. She's mental. So you replenish the stagnancy of self-imposed limitations, hence the star. I like that. Hey Stevie, if you're still here. Hey honey. Who cares what they think you give the message? That's true. I just don't want to like respect this old art. I've gotten the star as how my soulmate's impression or what they'll think. Yeah. And I'm always like, what the I know. They'll think I'm mental. See, that's the thing. Like, if it's to many people, the star is like hope and what the star, you know, means in the guidebook. I haven't read the guidebooks. I have, but I haven't at the same time because I want to bond with them first and get some preliminary stuff settled in mentally, emotionally, intuitively, and then go into the meanings and be like, oh, okay, this is what this also means. Um, so that's why it sometimes can be. So, for instance, with my current feeling about the star, if it shows up to me, I'd be like, what are you doing in a reading, right? But that's not what the star means. But because that's how we've connected, the star card and I, that's how I'm going to read it. So, you can't, like, if you look up a star, you'd be like, but that means hope. And I'd be like, yeah, but you're fucking up. I wouldn't say that in a reading. Maybe I would. I don't know. It depends. Lovingly. um, it would, but she's confident in it, though. You know? Like, she has her whole routine. Like, she knows what she's doing. She's wild, but she's not wild. So what I'm saying is, like, when someone gives you a reading and those cards come out, people, because of how they've bonded with those cards, that message that they've bonded with them is the more kind of, not accurate, but it's the more one that, you know, makes sense. So look, even when I do when I see it, the same card keeps popping up. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Death is Scorpio. Yep. My first custom, I will share it. I drew with the tattoo artist. Oh. But the journey to the stars is very important. It is faith personified by truth. That is like this, like the collective conscious part. I prefer intuitive tarot readers. That's awesome, Stevie. Those are always wild to me. Like when an intuitive tarot reader. I don't know why I'd say that. Like I am an intuitive reader. Man, I swear the discounting of myself is real here. Um, I will say I am good at it though. I think. I think. When you read tarot, you heal the soul. That's true. Just when they're yelling at you, you're just kind of like, fine, fine. The Fountain Tarot deck was the one screaming at me. Okay, so I'm gonna look up Cleedon and the Fountain Tarot. Okay, you have the gift of knowingness per se. This is true. That's what my spiritual mentors program told me. Yes, she is in the water. She's stupid. I'm sorry. She's not stupid. I should stop. So the star says, oh, she or he of little faith, I guide your dreams since all loves the sun. I will show you a wish upon a star. That's beautiful. See, like, I like what you're saying. You're amazing. The Bible was the original 13 signs, not 12. Oh! Was it Chiron or something? 12 is mind, body, soul trifecta. I break the star down by thinking water represents emotions and she's pouring them into the earth to make her emotions grounded. Okay. I I get that. Like, I like that part. That makes sense to me. It's the pouring water into water that just irks my soul. What are you doing, lady? Naked, outside at night. But she's like, I can't, it's kind of like a bit of hater rate on my part, probably, because she's so comfortable in her own skin. She's like, oh, hey, you watching me? You want to pour some too? Pouring water into water might need refilling. That's a good point. That's a good point. That's a good point. Very good point. Scorpio is a holder of secrets. Ooh. I like that. I'm an intuitive reader. Come through, Kendall. Healing the soul, facing the truth, right? Yes, you are awesome. Oh, thank you, Stevie. She is a goddess to me. The star? I like that. So we're good. I reached the end of the comments. Woo, we're caught up. Okay, you guys. My back is killing me. Like she's doing this in the heavens. Oh. I wonder. That's interesting. She does seem like a giantess to me. I just see her in my head and I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you doing what you're doing? What do you tell yourself when you do this? Another one is temperance. Temperance seems to make a little bit more sense when people draw it as fire in one cup and water in one cup, but originally it's just all water just being swished around. Just like, that's cool. Alright, you guys, I'm gonna go. My family has been calling me, but I'm pretty sure they're all asleep now. Oh, which is sad because I wanted to spend some time with them. Dang it. Oh my god, I have a talk I need to prepare for. Ugh. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah. Bye, everybody. I hope this served you. For anybody tuning in now, the first half of the video, don't go. I know. It's always a pleasure to see you too. I thank you so much for being here, you guys. The first half of the video, if you're watching this now and you came in late, we were learning tarot with the Rider-Waite deck, and we were learning the sevens. So, the seven, the chariot, major arcana, and we were learning the seven of swords, the seven of cups, the seven of shields, seven of wands, and seven of other seven. What's the other seven? Pentacles. So, if you're into just kind of that little intuitive lesson, just to see what you see, and to see how I go into, I didn't really go into the cards, I was looking at them, observing them. I didn't really go into many of them, but yeah, if you're into that, you can rewatch the beginning. And have it do what it do. If you would like a private reading, this month is quite busy for me. So, just at least get your name in my email so that at least it's there. I will be a little bit slower to respond because this month is, again, quite busy for me. I have like a couple engagements, speaking engagements, some weddings and stuff like that. So, yeah. Do this again. I'm so glad you're here. Alina, you're right to die. You've been here since the opening, since the gate. Thank you so much for being here. Me likey 7. Yeah, I wish you would have been here earlier. It would have been nice to see your input. Night night, my fellow queens. That's awesome. Good night, everybody. Okay, roll call. Who's in here? Good night, Savage Witch. Good night, Organic Spiritual Tech. Good night, Alina. Good night, Charlotte. Good night, Gloria. Good night, Stevie. Good night, Anna. And good night, Kendall. Yes. Okay. I think I said good night to everybody but like one person. Yeah. I think. Cool. Good Good night, Gloria. Good night. Good night, everybody. I'm gonna see if I can go to sleep. Or, not really, I'm not gonna go to sleep. I'm not sleepy. Damn it. Alright. I have to prepare for my talk tomorrow. At midnight. So, dang it, I was hoping to sleep early, get a good night's rest. Anyway, good night, everybody. Have a great one. Keep your light on or in a corner so you can rest or something. Good luck.